There's nothing as powerful as a mother's love, except maybe steel-reinforced concrete. But what happens when that love is twisted into something different? Something much darker. Boy moms, not to be confused with women who happen to have male children, are mothers who for some reason have decided to make the gender of their child their entire personality. This obsessive behavior towards their sons inhibits good parenting at best, and dips its toes into the Freudian at worst, becoming especially alarming when these women also have daughters who suffer because of this extreme favoritism. While this mother and son dynamic is centuries old, the internet has a beautiful way of allowing weirdos to publicly incriminate themselves, pulling up the logs of their lives to reveal all the delicious, creepy crawlies skittering underneath to millions. And as usual, I invite you to grab a bag of popcorn, drench it in butter, and watch the train wreck with me.
You'll be his first kiss, his first love. He's your little boy.
He's your little boy. I hated how he said that. I thought this video would be a great place to start because it highlights a particular fixation that these toxic boy moms have of being their son's first love, and using language that uncomfortably parallels romantic relationships. The weirdness becomes super obvious once you realize these women would never mention being their daughter's first kiss or their daughter's first love, so what's the difference? Well, according to the comment section underneath this video, having a son is completely different. A transcendental experience that girl birthers simply could never understand, and boy moms refuse to explain.
Being a boy mom is the best feeling. It's truly falling in love.
Ew. I mean, interesting perspective.
There's just something different about raising a boy. Heart. Can't explain.
No, please, do explain. What's so different about it? I and the local authorities are incredibly curious.
He is her last true love.
Which makes the dad, what? The matchmaker? The ex? Last true love? What are we talking about?
I have a little boy, and I always thought I wanted girls, but having a baby boy? It's something else.
No, it actually literally isn't. There's nothing special about a baby boy versus a baby girl. It's a baby, a collection of fat rolls missing its kneecaps, a default starter human that hasn't even allocated its skill points yet. You haven't even had a girl, so how do you know having a boy is different? I'm gonna have an aneurysm unless we have a sponsor break right now. But before we continue, I'd like to take a second to talk about today's sponsor, Air Up. Using scent-based taste, Air Up water bottles deliver scented air to your mouth as you drink, making drinking water way more interesting so you can stay hydrated and healthy. I've had this Air Up water bottle for about a month now, and I can say without exaggeration that I use it every single day. I'm literally using it while I'm recording this video. I had developed a really bad habit of sitting down to work on videos for hours without making sure I was drinking enough water, and now filling this bottle is the first step of my workday routine. It's super fun to try all the flavors, but tangerine is by far my absolute favorite, and I was very surprised at how long the flavor pods last before you have to replace them. It's also really easy to take the bottle apart to clean the mouthpiece and straw, unlike other water bottles I've used in the past. As the holiday season approaches, Air Up makes for a perfect gift for that special, perhaps dehydrated someone in your life. Their wide selection of bottle colors and flavor pods means that the gift of Air Up can be customized to each friend or family member's taste. Air Up will keep your loved ones happy and hydrated all year long, but their holiday bundles that can save you up to 30% off are only here for a limited time, so make sure to get them while you can. But these strange videos aren't just isolated incidents. Entire TikTok trends and audios have been co-opted by boy moms as an opportunity to show off their toxicity. Oh, this one's got layers like lasagna. Let's dig in. First off, versions of this cringy trend have been done by parents of both genders, so I'm not gonna be as harsh, but I also have to take off points for creativity. There are so many assumptions being made here. First off, that it's the wife's duty by default to do the cooking. These mothers are training their sons to be judgmental food critics to make sure their spouses can handle the daily responsibility of feeding them as well as mommy did. Maybe your future daughter-in-law can't boil water, but is a wonderful, loving partner. Maybe your son wants to do the cooking, but there's no room for that within these rigid, traditional standards for wives, and mothers like this devote their lives to setting the bar out of reach so their sons stay attached to them. There's also the assumption that relying on pre-prepared food is somehow a horrible personal failure for a woman, as if women can't get tired sometimes and just throw something in the microwave. Like, come on, do you think your precious prince is too good for frozen pizza? Thoughty daughter? Hello? You are literally making assumptions about the promiscuity of a woman that you not only haven't met yet, but who is currently, hopefully, still a minor. You're shaming an imaginary person and getting mad about it. Shall I fetch your pills, milady? There was a wonderful response to this trend, with TikTok users recording themselves teaching their sons how to cook for much better reasons, to provide them with basic life skills so they can feed themselves and their future families, as well as destigmatizing cooking as women's work. Of course, I probably don't have to explain to you what this tangling of wires between romantic and motherly affection leads to: viewing their sons' future partners as competition. This is how you get bizarre trends where mothers post themselves lip-syncing love songs to their 8-year-old children. Alright, this is that one Olivia Rodrigo song that goes like, "She is beautiful, she is kind, she probably gives you butterflies. I know you're happy, but not..." I can't, okay, you know what I'm talking about. This is a song about hoping your ex never finds someone who makes them as happy as you did, which is already kind of weird. I wish I had the memory eraser from Men in Black so I could just wipe myself from the minds of all of my exes. But to sing this song to your son, joking that you hope they are never as happy with a future partner as they are with you? Yikes! Yikes, I say! How can you think this way and still claim that you love and want the best for your kid? But this isn't the only track that toxic boy moms have hopped on. Oh my god, more copyrighted music. Okay, please don't be in love with someone else. Please don't. Wow, this is creepy. Once again, ew, weird. Because these women have blurred the line between romantic and parental love, they see their sons' girlfriends as replacing them and their sons' relationships as a breakup. Not only that, but if they've done their job right, their sons will also compare their wives to their mothers. Not in the developmentally normal, my parent of the opposite gender informed my expectations for that gender way, but in the "my mommy used to cut the crusts off my sandwiches, why aren't you?" way. This is also tied to men being socialized to think of their wives as caregivers rather than equal partners, which blurs the lines between mommy and wife even more. Which, if you're an adult and you want to blur those lines with your also adult wife in the privacy of your own home, that's great, I just don't want to know about it. You're already creating a rivalry with your son's future wives in your head when these boys don't even know there's letters in math yet? Why would you take joy in the idea of isolating your future daughter-in-law from her family during the holidays and preventing your future grandchildren from seeing half of their extended family? But amongst the toxic TikTok boy moms, there is one who has crowned herself queen, and her reign began with this video.
I never thought that I would be that toxic boy mom. I love my 4 kids equally, but that last little boy just hits different.
I don't like that laugh.
He hits his sisters, he punches them. I'm like, maybe he's having a hard day.
Oh, I see now what she meant by hits different. She meant his hits go unpunished? Now, how many hard days is your son allowed to have before he has to stop using his sisters to train for the UFC? If you think siblings don't notice favoritism, you've never had siblings. If my mom split the last piece of cake between the four of us and one of the slices was 0.5% bigger than the others, somebody ended up in a headlock. Your kids will definitely know if you have a favorite, and you're gonna raise an emotionally stunted son and very resentful daughters.
So when I think about my daughters getting married, I get excited, right? Planning their weddings. When I think about my son's wedding, I want to cry.
Oh, no. This sounds like something you should talk to a therapist about. I'm not licensed to deal with this shit. For a lot of these women, this intense and situationally inappropriate affection that they pour into their sons is a way of seeking fulfillment in areas that they feel that their male partners have failed them. Literally raising a replacement for their boyfriend or husband. And if you think that that's a stretch, just watch the next two videos.
And my man, thank you to my man. To my man, thank you to my man.
Remember all the things that you and I did first, and now you're doing them with her? Remember all the things that you and I did first? You got me like this. Ah!
Freud flipping a fritter in a frying pan on a Friday afternoon. What the hell did I just watch? I mean, way to spell it out for us like it's a goddamn spelling bee. Now, after getting backlash for making these weird videos about her son, the creator did apologize and say that I'm just kidding. She actually leaned into it more aggressively just to make people upset. She quickly realized she could turn this toxic boy mom behavior into a rage farm, and she tilled that soil until she got a nice crop of views and angry comments. When it comes to toxic boy moms, these weird jokes and possessive behaviors don't magically go away when their sons grow up. You see, the monster mother-in-law is the final form of the toxic boy mom evolution, the final boss stage, so to speak. And unfortunately, that's probably the only flavorful meal that anyone's ever eaten at your house, Kathy. That's why no one touched your beige-colored casserole at the church potluck last Wednesday. Careful yanking your hair like that before you get in this hypothetical altercation with your daughter-in-law. You might want to preserve what's left. All jokes aside, the toxic boy mom parenting style leads to very severe consequences. Mothers that have emotionally I can't say that word, so I'm just gonna say swiping right at the family function relationship with their sons and put them on a pedestal create men who are emotionally immature and entitled and who will end up being lazy, if not outright abusive partners.
He hits his sisters. He punches them.
I think what's so tragic about the toxic boy mom is that there's really only two endings for her. Option 1, she poisons all of her son's romantic relationships, or option 2, he sets boundaries with her and starts cutting her out of his life. But we're not done yet. Don't worry. I've saved the worst for last. She made a sweaty thirst trap for her son. Are you feeling a bit under the weather? Don't call your doctor, you can't afford that, and don't research peer-reviewed articles, yawn boring. And definitely don't consult with the witch hunched over her cauldron behind the 7-Eleven. She's too busy making me a potion that'll make my feet bigger, because you know what they say about guys with big feet. It's time to play roulette with your health, so open up TikTok and start swiping. TikTok, a mystical portal of medical misinformation where, after 2 seconds of scrolling, someone will try to convince you you can get rid of your toothache by singing the Animaniacs Nations of the World song backwards after, of course, updating the lyrics because of all the wars and stuff since the 90s. Homeopathic/alternative medicine has of course been around forever, but TikTok, and by extension the entire internet, has given health gurus with questionable credentials access to way more people than they've ever had before. Today we will not be debating the effectiveness of natural remedies in general, because that touches on some complex questions about religion, tradition, and philosophy, and enough people on the internet already hate me. Instead, we will be going over health trends popularized by TikTok that are verifiably pointless, outright dangerous, and/or objectively hilarious. Do you want to remove excess earwax while also causing an extreme fire hazard by putting a lit candle right next to your highly flammable hair so you can recreate the 2007 film Ghost Rider starring Nicolas Cage at the same time? Well then ear candling might be for you! Supposedly the way this works is that the flame at the end of the hollow candle creates a vacuum that pulls earwax and debris from the ear as it burns. Except it doesn't. It just doesn't. It's really easy to prove these are a scam. All you have to do is light an ear candle, don't put it in your ear, and then cut it open.
First, let's look at the one that was in my ear. There is definitely something inside there. Ugh. Okay, now, let's see if there's anything in the one that wasn't in my ear. No way. There's even more stuff.
Now this, ladies, gentlemen, and etc. of the jury, is why control tests are not just for nerds. It turns out that the earwax that was making everybody so self-conscious about their ears was just wax from the candle. Not only that, but these candles leave a gross residue behind, meaning they not only don't work, but they're also leaving candle wax in people's ears. This scam is cartoonishly evil, convincing people that their ears are disgusting, so they keep buying more candles. Meanwhile, the candles are clogging up their ears even more. Clogged ears, you say? I have a candle for that. Ear candles have been stuck in an endless cycle of being popularized, then debunked, then popularized again since at least the early 2000s, and it's crazy to see this cycle continue all the way into 2023. Then again, we all use a product that says do not put in ear exclusively to put in our ears, so maybe we're all just idiots. But before I continue, I'd like to take a second to talk about today's sponsor, Bellesa. Right now, I'm partnering up with Bellesa to send out free vibrating toys and gift cards for toys to everyone who signs up for my giveaway. Bellesa is a bi-women company whose mission is to empower everyone to embrace, explore, and celebrate their sexuality. Here are some of the exciting toys they have to offer. First up, we have the Pebble. While small in size to fit perfectly in your hand, this is a suction toy like no other without any of those annoying pattern modes that nobody uses. Next up, the Air Vibe. The Air Vibe offers dual stimulation and can be tucked into this discreet little case when not in use. It's silent, but effective, like a well-trained assassin whose target is your The Demi-Wand's flexible neck allows you to get just the right angle and pressure, and it's a whisper-quiet toy that works with all body types. The Thump is Bellesa's Swiss Army knife, a toy that truly does it all. This premium quality silicone toy vibrates, suctions, and thumps using Bellesa's improved Pleasure Jet technology. So what are you waiting for? Everyone who clicks the link in my description and signs up for my giveaway will get a free toy or gift card. Head over there while this offer lasts. Hey there, welcome back. Bad news, the water you're drinking is apparently not expensive enough, according to our source, White Woman in Boho Chic 2-piece.
By popular demand, let's talk about Alive Water, why I'm obsessed with it. I pay $88 a month to have this delivered to my house.
$88? When that money could instead be spent on Baldur's Gate 3 Deluxe Edition? I don't think so. I'm gonna chase my water with fluoride like a real American.
This is Alive Water. Yes, it comes in these gorgeous, gorgeous containers. So their water comes from 2 natural springs that have 0 industrial contamination. This is high vibe water and you can feel it.
The existence of alive, high vibe water implies the existence of dead, low vibe water, which is apparently the water all of us plebeians drink. Oh my god. the vibes are off. Let's check out their website. Holy shit, that is the ugliest logo I've ever seen. Whose nephew threw this together? Oh, hell yeah. You know it's good web design when you become overstimulated the moment you open the page. I mean, they have to be telling the truth. Look at this incredible hover animation. Now, I love massive jugs as much as the next person, but according to the website, for just 2 people, you could have up to 12 jugs just sitting around in your house for a month. Oh wait, they're also selling a $200 shelf to hold all the jugs. How convenient. Oh my god, you also have to pay a $33 deposit fee for each jug. The jugs aren't included in the cost? So yeah, the water's expensive, but you'll be happy to know that it's also a total ripoff. While Alive Water tries to make it sound like they're scooping water directly from Mother Nature's leaky teats at Opal Springs, it's actually just Oregon tap water. Pretty nice tap water, especially when compared to the sulfur sludge that leaks out of some of the faucets here in Texas, but still just tap water. Probably would just be cheaper to take a family trip up to Oregon and fill up every few months.
This is 9.5 alkaline water from my Kangen machine. This is the only medical grade water ionizer in the world, first only existing in Japanese hospitals.
Oh, sick. I want a sci-fi gadget that makes me bubble water. I wonder how much this— oh my god!
Medical grade, living, alkalized water. I'm gonna do a couple different tests here. The first test is like the pool guys do, pH test. We're gonna compare that to medical alkaline water. Wherever they're from, when you separate it from the source for 48 hours, it's dead water. Anything in it that's good dies. However, if they add chemicals to it, it may appear alkaline. Let's do a straw test to it. Carbon dioxide released during digestion.
So if you zone out during all the big fancy medical words and 3rd grade science experiments like I did and just look at the top result on Google, alkaline water is just water that has a higher pH level than regular tap water. The idea behind drinking alkaline water is that it will somehow neutralize the acidity of your bloodstream, which it won't. Cool idea though. When we drink things, they go to our stomachs, and our stomachs have to maintain a very specific level of acidity to digest our food, so any alkaline water you drink is just gonna get neutralized immediately. If you somehow manage to drink enough alkaline water that it affects the pH level of your stomach, you can suffer from symptoms like indigestion, bacterial overgrowth, and malnourishment, aka your tum-tum will hurt real bad. So you can just put that $5,000 into your kid's college fund, even though by 2030, that's probably not even going to be enough to pay for textbooks.
Putting garlic cloves in my nose after a sinus infection.
Hey, remember when people were shoving garlic up their nose to get rid of congestion? Yeah, don't do that, you goober. What are you trying to cook up in there? Spaghetti? Perhaps a nice aglio e olio? All you're doing is irritating your mucous membranes and making more mucus and trapping the mucus that was already in there. I'm just gonna move on quickly because this is just super gross.
And on this episode of weird shit I do for my wellness, coffee enemas. Coffee enemas are actually an ancient tradition that are really good in detoxifying the body and getting the things we do not want out of it, the stagnancy, and even things like viruses, parasites, all of that.
My thing is, unless that coffee is being brewed by a bisexual with a nose ring, I don't want it anywhere near my mouth or my butthole.
It is an anti-parasitic. It's great for your mental health, great for your immune system, and a bunch of other things I will put on the screen. But I just feel so good. Coffee enemas are so taboo, but more people should be using them and talking about them because they have so many benefits. I'll keep you updated. Make sure you're following me for more.
I hate the ominous shot of the bag at the very end. I hate the POV I'm being forced into. So what a coffee enema supposedly does is dilate the bile ducts in the liver to release toxins. Whatever the f that means. It apparently has a long list of benefits that makes you wonder what else we should be putting up our poopers. I'm gonna do a Sprite enema and ascend to the astral plane.
First I make out with the dog for about 10 minutes in the morning. And I go straight into making my coffee enema.
I'm sorry, what?
I prefer to put coffee up my ass. It has way more benefits.
No. Wait, hold on. I feel like we kind of skimmed over. She does what with her dog for 10 minutes?
One coffee enema can increase your glutathione production by 700%. Glutathione is the big Mac Daddy of antioxidants. It combats free radicals.
Did you say combats radicals? Well, I'll stick anything up my butt to stick it to those blue-haired commies. After they make my oat milk frappuccino, of course.
I do about 3 to 4 per week, and sometimes I'll even do a couple in one day.
3 or 4 times a week? You're done. You're done. Give me the hose. You're enjoying this too much. So, coffee enemas. An uncomfortable rectal remedy, but totally worth it, right? No! You learned nothing! Not only is there no concrete enemas... God, concrete enema, Jesus! Oh my god! Not only is there no concrete evidence that... Not only is there no concrete evidence that coffee enemas provide any benefits, but this creative caffeine consumption has been linked to proctocolitis, infection, and 3 deaths. According to baseball rules, that means don't put the coffee in your butt.
This is day 1 of me ingesting borax.
I hopped on the borax train.
I jumped on the borax train.
I have officially jumped on the borax train.
Borax.
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 Go check it out.
This is the generation that mocked us during the Tide Pod incident. Look who's sneaking snacks from the laundry room now, Grandma.
Borax is all natural and helps with bone building and immune and brain function. It dissolves easily in water and helps absorb calcium and magnesium. This drink, which I will show, will help prevent inflammatory conditions like rheumatoid arthritis, reverse male impotency, treat PCOS, menstruation issues, hormonal imbalance, hot flashes, night sweats, and enhance testosterone levels.
Wow, can it also wax my car and boost my credit score? That'd be pretty neat. So the boomers got into the borax and became convinced that a pinch of the laundry powder in their water every morning could cure them of all kinds of ailments. The main claim was that it reduces inflammation and helps with joint pain.
So he learned about borax on here, and he's been taking it, and he doesn't have any joint pain at all.
Everybody wants a miracle cure, especially when it comes to something as horrible as chronic pain, but I probably don't have to tell you that eating borax is a terrible idea. First, while a few studies have shown that there might be some benefits to increasing boron in your diet, eating borax, or sodium borate, can cause vomiting, reproductive issues, and risk kidney failure. Not only that, but borax is produced in facilities that aren't required to use food-safe procedures, meaning that the borax that you're eating could be exposed to all kinds of chemicals and contaminants because they're making laundry detergent, not Kool-Aid. But these people went crazy, drinking borax, soaking in borax, and posting tutorials on how to cook up some yummy laundry sauce for the whole family.
So I get a lot of you asking me what it is that I do with this beautiful powder here in this box. And I'm going to show you what I do every day, usually in the morning, but I'm getting a late start today. So I take a pinch of this, a pinch of baking soda, and a pinch of Celtic sea salt, and I put it in a cup of water and I drink it.
This woman was sort of their lead poison leader for a little bit, even though at this point she's pretty much deleted all evidence of her involvement. She still has some really interesting alternative medicine and conspiracy theory content on her TikTok account. You're telling me the same people who are eating laundry detergent also think the moon landing was faked? Shocker.
This is a mineral that is portrayed as a laundry booster and cleaner. And they do this on purpose because they don't want you to be of the mindset of consuming this. They want you to be of the mindset that it's not for consumption. That's for a very good reason. It's because of all the health benefits that it has.
See, this is the thread that connects all of these crazy health trends together and allows them to persist for so long. The belief that any evidence that they're harmful is part of a government conspiracy. It is an absolute war zone for doctors and nurses trying to clear up medical misinformation on TikTok, because every time they try to warn people of the very real researched risks of the very stupid things they're doing, they're accused of being liars, of wanting people to stay sick so they can make more money. As if the TikTok gurus selling their followers bogus information and $5,000 water ionizers don't also have something to gain. Making this video was frankly depressing. Most of these health trends could be debunked within 5 minutes of Googling.
Shut up, you dingleberry!
Excuse me?
You participated in a ritual where you pretended to eat the flesh and blood of a dead Jewish man for 18 years.
Okay, it sounds really, really bad when you put it that way. That's just normal Christian.
We're all just apes with too much brains in our heads, terrified of death and dying and looking for someone to tell us what to do.
Oh, come on. These are obvious scams.
Everybody's trying to sell happiness so they can buy their own. There's been snake oil salesmen since before there were snakes.
Okay, but seriously, how could people fall for this stuff?
The medical industry is incredibly corrupt and most people can't afford basic care. Hunching over our desks in beige offices deprives us of the vitamins and level of activity that we need. The food industry is horribly underregulated. We're all eating poison. Of course people are spiraling into paranoia and conspiracy theory.
What are you doing in my house?
Looking for your borax?
Right. Tickets are on sale right now for my upcoming live show. That's right, it's that time in every YouTuber's career when they start to think for some reason having a following online means they're qualified to do stand-up. Not me though. I'm doing it in a self-aware way. Come see the face behind the frog at the Regent Theater in downtown LA on December 10th. Click the link in the description to get your ticket before they're gone.
The performative male, camouflage creep of the concrete jungle. You might have spotted these specimens at your local coffee shop, matcha in hand, as they pretend to peruse feminist literature. With their labubu securely carabined to their oversized thrifted shorts, they cheat out towards an unwitting audience of a meet-cute rom-com missing its leading lady. Desperate for attention, these pathetic posers... Aw, fuck! Alright, camera is going, audio is good, testing, testing, okay. Time to perform. While videos about the performative male have been circulating since 2024, the label really started to trend this past summer. Comedy skits have been rolling in, Get Ready With Me's recorded safely behind several layers of self-awareness. Crowds gathered together for performative male contests in cities across the world. Houston, New York City, Chicago, Seattle, Toronto, Ottawa, Sydney, Jakarta. This trend has transcended borders and language barriers, uniting communities in ways we haven't seen since Kendall Jenner handed that cop an ice-cold Pepsi. How to become a performative male? No one knows the last one. Okay, let's see. Matcha, Claro, have a good credit score. Oh, this is an ad. You know, online discourse is at peak freshness when a paralegal over at Consumer Justice has a great idea for a video. Only the newest news and trendiest topics on this channel, but even traditional media outlets have caught up to this conversation before me, indicating that it might not be just another set of jangling keys holding our collective attention for a week, but a term that's steadily entrenching itself into our vocabulary. The New York Times, The Washington Post, Forbes, The Guardian, reduced to TikTok translators for your parents. Somewhere, there's an editor-in-chief day drinking while working remote with his head turned towards the ceiling of his penthouse screaming, "God! I wish there was another war so we could talk about something normal!" What actually is a performative male, though? If you're asking yourself this question, all you need to know is that I would do anything to trade places with you, to frolic through the field of daisies that is your chronically offline life. Please, this knowledge is a curse. A performative male is just using long shorts and labubus to try and get laid. Damn, Mahalia Chang over at GQ magazine is serving up some seriously hot, crispy harsh browns. But she gets right to the point. According to Wikipedia, because yes, There is an entire dedicated Wikipedia page for this. The performative male, also known as the performative man or matcha man, yeah, no, I'm not calling them that, is apparently the next evolution of the 2010s soft boy, a hipster variant who seems interested in female-dominated hobbies or exhibits behavior associated with femininity. Much like the pirates of the 17th century, however, they are only in it for the booty.
If you drop one single slice of me booty, I'll have your booty!
It sure would be nice if somebody made a dedicated Wikipedia page for me, for the benefit of the general public, of course. I've been doing some intense field research about this performative male phenomenon, which is what we in the biz call looking at my phone on the toilet until I can't feel my legs anymore. According to the data I collected, traits associated with being a performative male include having a mustache, having a letterboxd account, consuming matcha in any form, choosing milk alternatives, carrying a tote bag, believing in astrology, listening to music made by women, specifically Loewe, Biba, Doobie, or Claro, owning physical media like CDs, cassettes, or records, carrying menstrual products, wearing wired earbuds, wearing thrifted clothes, wearing jewelry, wearing keychain toys, reading books about feminism, reading books by women, reading books outside, reading. You silly sluts. Everyone knows boys don't read. I left a like on the first few performative male videos I scrolled through. I got the joke, but by the 4th, 5th, and 6th, something started to feel off, like when you suddenly realize there's a pebble in your shoe. It's probably nothing. Anyways, you ladies ever hear of Judith Butler? My phone number is written on the back. But before we continue, I'd like to take a second to talk about today's sponsor, Odoo. In this tiny slice of history between the invention of the wheel and the singularity that will be our doom, creating a website is crucial to help your business stand out. With Odoo's website builder, you don't have to know how to code to get started. Simply answer a few questions about your business and use the intuitive drag and drop interface to build a professional portal in just a few clicks. Whether you're a restaurant owner, independent artist, or a YouTuber trying to soft launch their stand-up comedy career, Odoo has a variety of customizable templates to suit your needs. The best part? Your first site is free for life with unlimited hosting, support, and a custom domain. That's right, when your grandchild introduces you to their polycule of performative AI boyfriends and your last youthful hair follicle turns gray, that website you designed with Odoo will still be there for you. Odoo grows with your business, allowing you to add applications as you expand. Click the link in my description to learn more and try Odoo today. So this is it. This is me taking off my shoe to try to figure out why such a silly trend is bothering me so much. Oh, a lot of these TikToks are formatted in the exact same way. A clueless performative male minding his own performative business while filmed from afar, usually at a cafe. Please, buying your latte at a cafe? I only make mine at home with matcha fresh from the green-dusted bosom of the motherland, a house in the heart of Kyoto owned by a blind 90-year-old woman. She only sells to locals, so you either have to have a friend on the inside or hazard a potentially problematic impression. Her other senses are heightened, so you really gotta commit. I can quit whenever I want! This is a very tired, tried and true technique. The format of the modern freak show. Our job as the audience is to gawk and squawk at his audacity while throwing peanut shells between the bars of the cage we are also trapped in. There are so many of these, and most of them are... it's pretty obvious after a few seconds that they're fake. It's supposed to be satire friends or the account owner themselves dressing up for the bit. Surely the average TikTok user has the bare minimum amount of intelligence to realize, so performative. Who does he think he's fooling? I'm so irritated. Who actually reads books outside? Imagine him trying matcha for the first time, trying to find the page he's lost in his book with the labubus on his bag that his girlfriend, hopefully that's the case, but I fear it's performative. Whether or not the videos are real is less important to me than the amount of people who seem very comfortable with the idea that they are. Surveilling each other in a surveillance state seems like a little bit of a roll-up beanie on a roll-up beanie, don't you think? Zoe Hecht over at Teen Vogue says, living in Los Angeles, I see performative males everywhere. The whole appearance, from the clothes to the accessories, is what makes the performative male easily identifiable. Huh. You see, I thought we were calling out men for being manipulative. How are you visually identifying that? Are you scanning them as you walk by with one of those metal detector wands they use at the airport to check their purity of heart? Are you lugging around a big rock with a sword in it and challenging them to give it a yank to prove they're worthy enough to opt for oat milk? While there are plenty of comedy skits where the performative male character explicitly disrespects their date,
I'm almost done with this chapter.
I only read books by females. I'm opening up a woman-only pronoun-free coffee shop.
Oh, that's interesting.
Excuse me, I'm talking right now, sweetie.
Wait, that was my laptop. What?
Or clips of performative male contestants giving melodramatic speeches.
I am here for the woman.
They make me so angry.
Why should I be the winner when the real winner are the women we made along the way?
A majority of performative male content doesn't have this context. They just kind of show a dude existing, and you can really see commenters struggle with this. All the jokes about being a performative feminist just make me feel like I look performative for just doing things I normally do. Well, this is about the ones that pretend, so what's the issue? Like 99% of them are pretending, it's not just some. I do/did so much of this type of stuff, but not because I'm performative. The point is that this isn't even their actual personalities, it's just a facade. It's for the guys who pretend to be into these things just to get interest from girls. I want to dress like a performative man so bad because I love that style, but then people will just call me one. Don't worry, people will be able to tell. Yeah, but how are we supposed to know just by looking at people? Vibes, bro. Great job, guys. Y'all get full credit on this week's discussion board assignment. One post, one response. You did it. You can see where the confusion is happening. The conversation has drifted from the performance itself to the props. And since there's nothing inherently wrong with the props, everything gets very arbitrary. This is a silly example, but look at this caption. POV, you realize you're a performative male. That sentence is almost an oxymoron, isn't it? If you realize you're performing, you weren't consciously performing in the first place. There's something really interesting that was said by the winner of the Seattle Performative Male Contest.
So how do you feel about the competition?
Like the other people?
Yeah.
I don't know. See, everyone else here is being performative. This is me.
This is you.
This is the real me.
This is the real me, he says, while looking like everyone else there. But how do we know that? And what's the difference? How to spot a performative male out in the wild. How to spot a performative male? Look for a tote bag. If you see a man with a matcha latte, run. At what point are we just policing a weirdly specific aesthetic, trying to suss out the imposter? That was an Among Us reference for you 12-year-old. The fixation on matcha is especially weird to me. There's this recurring joke where the performative male character spits out his latte because he secretly hates it. Guys, it's tea. Is it really that crazy to think that a lot of people like tea? We fought wars over that shit. China's been on the hype train since the 7th century. Bro, look at Emperor Taizong. He's performatively drinking matcha. Guys, stop. I genuinely like the taste. Why people just get a little excited when we realize that we can make money off of something Asian people have been doing for centuries. You know, chai, yoga, etc. Matcha's in right now, but ube is next on the shopping block. Sorry, Filipinos, it's your turn. Better start stockpiling. Can I submit wasabi as our next cultural flavor obsession? I like my men like I like my wasabi flavored peas. Hot, a lot of them, and making me cry. I hate myself! I know that in the eyes of many, my she-woman man-haters club card has been punched enough times to get a free side of fries, but some of the responses to this performative male trend have really bummed me out.
I really thought the performative male stuff was cute at first. People are, having competitions, who's the most performative, poking fun at themselves. And then I started getting some troll comments on YouTube. One on a video about my husband changing his style, another just a friend talking about what they got in Tokyo. And it was like, oh, this is so performative, or like, you turned him into a performative male.
I was walking downtown in the city I live nearby. I have just a very basic fit and this cool bag. And some woman came up to me and she just kind of came up to me and was like, hey, just so you know, what you're doing is performative.
So, did we get those pesky fake feminists yet? Like, surely the joke has gone too far at this point. Can we keep the comment section off the crosswalk? I don't want TikTok behavior in my neighborhood. Don't make me an ally of the HOA.
Let me enjoy my matcha at my tote bag. I've been doing this since 2020.
POV, you're a man trying to read in public, but then remember it's performative. God forbids a man buy flowers without being called performative. You may think I'm being performative by reading on the subway platform. Little do you know I haven't understood a single page of this book and desperately just want to finish so I can start something new. You can say, well, if they're not being performative, they shouldn't care what people think. But that's not how humans work. especially young humans. Realizing I can't get a girlfriend, so I turn to a performative guy. You're 15! Worry about how you're gonna perform on that Algebra 2 exam next week. You only have a few more years until adulthood. Play as much Minecraft as possible. Let me get this straight. The actual performative male can easily discard his disguise and move on. The men who are just being themselves are now suddenly having their intentions interrogated. Everyone else is highly discouraged from completely innocuous and sometimes objectively good behavior. What exactly was the point of all this again? I think we can all agree that there's a difference between intent and impact. The intended target of this trend was a misogynistic male manipulator crafting a completely inauthentic persona to trick women into sleeping with him. But as the TikTokification of social commentary dictates, the scope of scrutiny is now widened to include any guy who looks like that, which is still a relatively small percentage of the population because no, Poppy Sowerby of the times, men by and large are not abandoning macho for matcha. They're mostly listening to Joe Rogan and they probably think matcha is gay or something. Also, why did your parents name you like a delicious pastry? You sound like something I could buy at my local bakery. You sound like you have a light flaky crust with a soft yet structured center. You sound like if I presented you to Paul Hollywood, he would look me in the eyes, shake my hand firmly, and say good job in a fatherly tone, at which point I'd probably start crying but also feel strangely aroused. Ah! F***! What were we talking about? Lattes! I feel like some of y'all live in a different world than I do, because if we're truly having a performative male epidemic, why are marketing teams still using military terms to get men to practice basic hygiene?
Built to clear, build up, and maintain order. Superior grade. We've got the word defense a ton, not for clowns, right? So if you're not a real man that uses an axe, or you're a clown, you can't have this product. Bloody knuckles. Don't worry, brother. It's not girly to put things on your hands. This scrubber is tactical. Rainforest rapids. There are dangerous rapids, so it's not just enjoying the rainforest because it's beautiful, but there are dangerous rapids.
Me when I tactically apply my whiskey-scented skin defense with gunmetal packaging on my bloody knuckles. Me when I return to the control center for military simulation training. Me whenever I maneuver to the bathroom to unload cargo and do a perimeter sweep of my 6. Ellie Bramley over at The Guardian says, quote, all of this posturing has one end goal, to look good in the eyes of progressive women. But walk with me for a second. Actually, you're gonna need to sit down for this one. What if I said, so what? There is a bitter part of me that has enjoyed this performative male trend because in a lot of ways it feels like revenge. After all, isn't this just the gender-bent version of, check out that chick wearing a Nirvana shirt, bet she can't name 5 songs, up top! Is she a pick-me? Is she a cool girl? Either way, her enjoyment of basic mainstream activities like watching sports, reading science fiction, and listening to alternative rock is constantly measured against an unbalanced scale of authenticity and f***ability, her value derived from her proximity to masculine interests, as long as she's smart enough to stay out of the way and look sexy doing it. Welcome to womanhood. It's spelled H-E-double-L for some reason. Checkouts at 7:30 a.m. and there's a surprise resort fee. Go f*** yourself. But I want to counter that feeling with another perspective. Isn't it a positive thing that there's incentive for men to take women's interests and values into account if they want to reproduce, you know, as opposed to most of human history? Isn't it a sign of some progress that there is any social pressure at all to engage with media made by women? You and her dad can't just play The Price is Right for her pussy anymore. You gotta, like, treat her like a person or something. There's a quote from Kurt Vonnegut in his book Mother Night that I read with my performative book club last year. We are what we pretend to be, so we must be careful about what we pretend to be. Some men are pretending to be well-dressed, well-read feminists. Oh no, that's so much worse than the alternative, which is them not doing any of that. If the performative male trend causes even one insufferable asshole to not buy bell hooks to impress his Hinge date, in my opinion, that's a net loss. Who knows? He might actually end up reading it. The timing of this is really weird, right? In a period of massive conservative regression pushing back against scientific consensus and academic institutions, a trend like this feels like a psyop to shame men back into line, to keep them uneducated and unempathetic. A poll from NBC paints a very different picture than that painted by Poppy Seed Sourdough of the Times.
What we found was a major gender gap among Gen Z. We talk about a gender gap. We see this in all age categories. It was even more dramatic among Gen Z, where Gen Z women, much more anti-Trump, much more progressive than Gen Z men. We asked them a very interesting question about how they define success in life. And what we found was when you break it down by gender and by politics, the divide between these two groups in just the basic question of success in life was profound.
I think sometimes what's more important than observing the impact of a joke or even in what direction it's punching in is paying attention to who else is laughing. Because they might not be laughing for the same reason you are. I started to notice that a surprising majority of people weighing in on this performative male phenomenon on TikTok were men. And they had some very interesting tips on how to identify them.
There's a lot of performative things males do only when women are watching. Going the extra mile to own or even think about owning a labubu, bro. That word shouldn't even be in your vocabulary, to be honest. Mind you, he's only gonna wear it in libraries, specifically in the feminist literature section. As soon as you start seeing him read books in public, that's the performative final boss. He's not even gonna read the cover of the book until he gets to a coffee shop. Mind you, he's gonna order matcha and make subtle glances at the barista in front of him across the counter. They're wearing glasses, specifically ones that he thrifted inside doors. And if he has a niche hobby like knowing how to play the ukulele, you're dealing with a master manipulator.
Damn, we're real strict around here. Anything else off limits?
If you want to tell if a guy's performative or not, there's one thing you gotta do. You gotta ask him about some, like, actual man stuff.
Okay, what's actual man stuff?
I fit the archetype. I listen to Claro. I wear selvage denim. I read, right? Performative man archetype right there. But I'm not. Ask me about fantasy football. I will start talking and I will not stop. Like, look at how many of these mock drafts I've done.
Sports. Of course. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I was expecting. This is a comedy creator I really like, but even in his sketch, the two competing performative males admit to each other that what they really want is to go out and get a beer, because that's what men do, damn it!
What do you say we just grab a beer? That'd be awesome.
Boy, turn that Claro off and grab you a beer. I know that's right, brother. Girl, listen, Claro. Boy, drink beer. Really innovative stuff. This entire comedy sketch is based on the premise of a group of men staging an intervention for their performative friend as he tries to convince them that he has an appropriate level of interest in masculine hobbies.
Why are you wearing wired earbuds? Because I'm listening to like podcasts and stuff.
No, he's not. I'm in his gym. He's listening to Claro.
Oh my god. Yes, I am. Look, I'll show you.
And what are you drinking, by the way? What's in that cup?
Black coffee.
There's no way that's
pour it.
My dad used to call me a performative male all the time, but he used the term woman. Oh, my dad just called me okay. I'm getting it now.
Super easy to tell when somebody's hobbies are performative. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, let me give you a quick example. The other day, I saw a guy with a Miffy AirPods case. And if you don't know what Miffy is, it's basically this bunny that's super popular amongst girls. So obviously when I saw this guy, I only had one thing that came to my mind. Bro is looking for hoes, cause why else would you have that shit on you? You are bullshitting me if you tell me as a straight guy that you're into Miffy.
If you like this bunny, you're fucking gay, dude. 180,000 likes. That's awesome! That's so awesome!
Oh my gosh. Hey, yo, your headphones aren't even plugged in. I'm on a call. With who, your boyfriend?
Excuse me! You made me go my girl!
Get it? It's funny because he's like gay. Wearing his gay hat and reading his gay book. You get it? I think I've found the pebble in my shoe. Any man who isn't straight or even slightly effeminate would probably have found it a lot sooner. This performative male trend is just aggressively reinforcing traditional gender roles with a woke cloak. Unrelated, I want to talk about pumpkin spice. The anti-pumpkin spice latte campaign propagandized my young mind so successfully that to this day the "I'm not like other girls" fear response reactivates from the deepest recesses of my psyche if I'm within 1,000 feet of a coffee shop during autumn. You think I'm exaggerating? Well, let's take a quick time machine trip to jog your memory.
Fuck pumpkin spice. It's artificial bull.
that has come to mean absolutely nothing, and that represents what is essentially a void in your personal taste and likely your entire character. When you buy this faux exclusive food garbage, you fuel the fire that keeps Square flavor scientists vying to force feed you more desperate, cloying, chemically laden snack trends. Shrug emoticon. But wait, there's more. There isn't any fucking pumpkin in pumpkin spice shit.
The cultural obsession with hating pumpkin spice was often justified as a critique of overconsumption and unethical marketing strategies. Because, of course, this was the only product contributing to those issues at the time. Yep, as strange as it may seem, only things that become popular with young women have negative effects on society and the environment. Nope, not that, and not that either. It's almost like a lot of people aren't willing to put in the time to engage in activism, but they still want the brownie points. So they latch on to a simple byproduct of a larger issue instead of the issue itself, as a socially acceptable vehicle for their petty grievances. Now any hate comment they leave is part of a holy crusade. They wouldn't pathologize a magpie for lining its nest with a few shiny trinkets, but they're happy to allow the burden of an entire broken economy rest on the shoulders of a single, overworked, overstimulated animal on the other side of the screen. Who cares if it actually causes any positive change, as long as your personal moral superiority is exalted? Behold, I am righteous, I know I am, for you are not. L ratio next. Oh! I think I blacked out again. What were we talking about? Labubu's. Where the hell did the little bastard go? Through all of the intellectual posturing, the anti-PSL campaign had a palpable hatred for a very particular woman, an established character with accessories and behaviors that complemented her drink of choice. Sound familiar? Today's matcha is yesterday's pumpkin spice. Today's performative is the flip side of yesterday's basic. It operates on the same logic. Liking bad, dumb things is natural for women. If a man likes it, he must have ulterior motives or be, you know, gay? Because only women like bad, dumb things. Women's participation doesn't change this, by the way. They were some of the anti-PSL campaign's most decorated soldiers back in the day. I will never recover from those webcomics. This is why the performative male trend isn't revenge for women. It's the sequel. What started out as a friendly warning amongst women about the dangers lurking in the deep end of the dating pool has been mostly hijacked by men who have made femininity itself the punchline, just repackaging the coping and seething of the girlless incel goon. She still won't let you hit, bro. Somehow, while trying to pick out the wolf in sheep's clothing, we really got tangled up in the wool of it all. Now the sheep are on trial, the wolves are in the jury box, and for some reason we're still laughing. It's actually kind of a perfect win for men. They don't have to examine their own behavior, they get to make fun of things women like, which they were doing already, and they get to put down other men to reaffirm their own masculinity while being praised for how authentic they are in comparison. But are they? A few months ago, I made a video about the internet personality Ashton Hall, whose coaching content, if you care, has since devolved into endless self-parody. In that video, I did use the word performative. It's masochistic. It's performative. It achieves nothing outside of this vague promise that it will make you more of a man. What's so interesting about comparing the response to Ashton Hall to this recent performative male stereotype, though, is that while most people recognized the absurd extremes, few questioned his authentic enjoyment of the core lifestyle he promoted. Of course, man like do business call, hang out with hot chick, drive fast car, eat steak, and have big muscle. That what man do? I mean, what if Ashton's true calling was musical theater? Why do we question matcha, long shorts, and labubus, but not Americanos, fleece vests, and pre-workout? Are you trying to tell me that men's default settings are day trading and FanDuel fresh out the womb? Why do we only accuse men of being performative when they're doing things women happen to like. There was a book that kept getting brought up in this discussion and even mentioned in the criticism section of the wiki page, the exact kind of book that a performative male might tote around in his tote, Gender Trouble by Judith Butler. So I bought it. First off, hey philosophy majors, stop casually recommending this you psychopaths. Do you understand how much effort it took for my social media poison brain to navigate this linguistic minefield? I think I had to read each page at least 3 to 4 times. Miss Judy B spit in my mouth, beat me over the head with theory using words I didn't know how to pronounce, and I said, "Thank you, ma'am." In this deceptively small book, Butler investigates the works of other philosophers, such as Luce Irigaray, Simone de Beauvoir, and Monique Wittig in their attempts to define gender and how it relates to the goals of the feminist movement. Butler encourages us to view gender not as a pre-existing objective reality, but as binary categories constructed by our juridical systems and hedged in by compulsory heterosexuality. And not even necessarily constructed well, more just kind of bumbled together by what she calls a paternal law, laying tracks just far enough ahead to maintain order. Even the concept of sex, largely agreed to be a simple biological fact, gets kind of blurry when you zoom out. I mean, humans could have just as easily created these important social divides between blonde versus brunette, or blue eyes versus brown eyes, or tall versus small, instead of this genitalia versus this other genitalia. And that's not even including the complications introduced by the existence of intersex people. It all gets kind of subjective when you start to think about it. Butler's ultimate conclusion is that gender itself is performative. Quote, that the gendered body is performative suggests that it has no ontological status apart from the various acts which constitute its reality. AKA, you don't do things because you're a certain gender. The things that you do create the illusion of gender. And according to Butler, what we do is heavily influenced by a need to survive in systems that regularly punish those who fail to do their gender right. Our gender performance is a response to an endless stream of demands to be a good mother, to be a heterosexually desirable object, to be a fit worker, to avoid getting made fun of on TikTok. Whether men are reading the bell jar or playing fantasy football, they are performing. So are you, and so am I. From flappers to hipsters, there's always been a public outcry if enough people start violating gender norms.
Girls are wearing pants now. Boys are growing their hair long. Missy, that skirt is too short.
Trying to put an ethical spin on it doesn't make it any more intellectual than the scolding of your grandmother. We want to believe that bad people come with warning labels, that we can protect ourselves by profiling drinks and dissecting dress codes. But that never takes us very far. I can totally see why a lot of feminists would want to latch on to this concept of a performative male to remind women to never let their guard down. At least not fully. But even amongst her fellow esteemed philosophers, Butler often had to point out where their rhetoric veered into bioessentialism, homophobia, and ironically, even misogyny in their attempts to achieve gender equality. Sometimes what you think is a guy trying to perform for women is actually someone taking the first baby steps to performing womanhood. Sometimes the person you're unintentionally making fun of is yourself. Here's my grand thesis. This trend sucks. Any awareness it might have raised about dishonesty in dating has been outweighed by the cons. AMAB people are mocked for experimenting with their gender expression, or even dressing slightly alt. Women are influenced to view those things as inherently suspicious and are no safer for it. Bad men don't need a matcha latte to hurt women. In fact, if we allow men to drive each other back into insulated, male-dominated spaces where their prejudices won't be challenged, that's less safe for everyone. I'm not excusing the behavior, but I want to open a path out. The performative male feels like yet another side effect of a self-destructive hypervigilance I've noticed increasing in my peers. A constant need to question the intentions of others and prove that yours are pure. You're not one of them. You're self-aware. You're in on the joke, performing how not performative you are, which is, I think, the most performative thing I've ever heard of. I've gotten countless videos on my FYP from every gender on every topic with a caption along the lines, "You can always tell when someone is doing blank performatively and not as a reflection of their true spirit." No, you can't. And why do you f***ing care? Back in 2024, Allegra Handelsman wrote an article about Gen Z reading performatively. A guy I know just posted an Instagram story with the famous pink cover of Simone de Beauvoir's The Woman Destroyed, I assume with the hope of pretty girls sliding into his DMs. I wonder if he even opened the book. According to my friend Noah, a fellow female writer, the main issue with hot men and paperbacks is every time I see a man read, I am utterly convinced they are pretending. She ends by acknowledging her hypocrisy as she chooses a book that's more impressive to post on her own account. This is a miserable way to live. Just read. And if you're really that worried that somebody else is pretending to read, maybe talk to them about the book for like 5 minutes, I guess? Maybe. Sometimes, for the sake of our own sanity, we need to operate with the mindset that if it looks like a duck, walks like a duck, and quacks like a duck, assume it's a duck. Until it starts acting like a duck. There is no point in psychologically torturing yourself or others to achieve some kind of authenticity, nirvana, smells like Teen Spirit, heart-shaped box, come as you are, love buzz, and dumb, by the way, a paradoxical paradise where you can somehow be constantly, painfully aware of every single assumption someone might project onto you, but also be your completely uninhibited self. This is a game without a win condition, and it's going to be extremely damaging to young people. They won't stop performing. They'll just perform in safer, disinterested, and detached ways. They'll say things like, "It's not that deep, bro," and "You're doing too much," more often. There won't be less posers, just less weirdos, which sucks for me. Because who's gonna watch my videos? So buy a t-shirt you think is cool and look up the band afterwards. Do your makeup badly. Make ugly art. Write stupid stories. Read books that make you uncomfortable. Sing even if it sounds terrible. Dance even if you can't find the beat. Be nice to people who don't deserve it. Perform, perform, perform. We are all performing. Throw in a couple of fun costume changes before the curtain falls. The person performing as the critic in the audience has chosen the most boring part of all. Hi, do you like listening to me ramble about pointless topics on your little phone screen? Or on your TV because you live alone or your roommates hate you or you have a strangely chill relationship with your parents? Then you can see me live in Dallas, Texas at the Arlington Music Hall on December 8th. That's right, you can be in the same room as me while I tell jokes on an actual stage, probably soaked with sweat. Don't make me tell jokes and dance in an empty auditorium because I will do it and it will destroy my self-esteem. Buy tickets right now at x1entertainment.com/FFB using the link below. Hey guys, how are we all doing after the, I think now's a good time to remind you all that the FunkyFrogBait channel has always promoted conservative Christian values. For no particular reason. I've been on the front lines battling these pronoun havers in their LGBTQRSTUV agenda.
The chemicals enhance my homosexuality. Homosexuality.
With their colored hair. Don't look at that. And the ugly bull rings in their noses. The only piercings I want to see are in the hands and feet of my Lord and Savior. And sometimes women's ears. But only on the lobe. Don't push it. Which is why I am so glad that the new president-elect of our great Christian nation is such a devout man of faith.
Grab him by the 2 Corinthians, right? 2 Corinthians.
Today, my brothers and sisters, I thought we could gather together to learn how to be good Christian influencers. Not because I need it or anything, but just in case some of you watching are less sanctified than I am and need a reminder. Thankfully, there are so many godly examples that we can look to for guidance on Instagram Reels.
Any evil or demonic presence that seeks to do harm, you are cast out of this house in the name of Jesus. Get out.
If you get this chip, you will sell your very soul to the devil. Hallelujah.
Now, from what I can tell, the first straight and narrow route that you can take as a Christian influencer is grabbing a random post about Jesus and then just putting your face on the bottom half of the screen. No, that's it.
Did you know that if you look at this picture closely, you can see the face of Jesus? Now tilt your phone just like this. You can see him more clearly. Wow, double tap the screen right now if you can see Jesus, then subscribe and share this blessing with a friend.
Apparently, the Holy Spirit is 80 proof, and I'll have what she's having. That confusing bowl of AI-generated cereal / peanuts with a suspicious-looking splash of milk in the shape of a bearded man will let you skim a few likes off of faithful followers and amused atheists alike. Now you just have to do that over and over and over and over and over again.
Jesus was at a Walmart and people still say that it's fake, but the Bible says he inhabits the praises of his people. So this is an actual visual of Jesus himself.
So Jesus heard about those rollbacks and just had to visit his local Walmart. Why would Jesus need rollbacks when he's already rolled back the stone from the mouth of the tomb, rising from the dead for our salvation? Can I get an amen? Sorry, I don't know what came over me. It was so sudden. That was scary. Now, one of the perks of being a Christian influencer is that you don't have to put that much effort into your content. You can just guilt people into interacting by telling them that the literal devil wants them to scroll.
Do not scroll. The devil does not want you to see this video. He's trying to block it from the path that the Lord has for you. Do not scroll. The devil does not want you to see this.
Do not scroll. The devil does not want you to see this. Do not scroll. The devil does not want you to see this. Do not scroll. The devil does not want you to see this. Do not scroll. The devil does not want you to see this.
Sometimes the post you 8th commandment from someone else doesn't even have to be related to Christianity at all. You can get really creative with it.
The devil made this little girl fall while running to Stitch. The devil loves when you scroll, but if you love Jesus, subscribe or follow.
These accounts love AI. 90% of what they post is Jesus playing peekaboo and pictures of people with impossible anatomy and really ugly cartoons. Oh no! Please don't send that baby to Dell. The reviews on Glassdoor said they have a toxic work environment.
You won't see him unless you squint. Do you see him?
I can't see anything. Wait. Hosier? Now, you might be thinking to yourself, oh my god, there's no way that constantly posting this derivative digital garbage, setting these low-effort spiritual booby traps to wrest engagement from the arthritis-riddled claws of saintly senior citizens could possibly work. First of all, don't take the Lord's name in vain. Second of all, have you considered that through God, all things are possible?
Did you know that this minion didn't die for you? The devil wants you to think he's Spider-Man.
For instance, God has seen fit to bless our brother Caitlin with 260,000 followers on Instagram and 3.5 million subscribers on YouTube. So, the real question is, why the frick are the rest of us trying so hard? But before we continue, I'd like to take a second to talk about today's sponsor, Laylo. Laylo is offering massive discounts this holiday season for their Black Friday event with prices so low they're in hell, and you guys can save even more by using my code FunkyLaylo20 at checkout for an extra 20% off. Exploring your body can be very beneficial for your mental and physical health. Laylo's products can enhance this experience or provide exciting new ones. Get to know Laylo's large catalog of luxury toys in a biblical way, like their best-selling Enigma Double Sonic that's marked down right now for the very first time. They have a wide range of options for different preferences and anatomy, making them the perfect gift for yourself or that special someone in your life. Laylo does not compromise on quality. Every personal massager is made from ultra-smooth premium silicone and is fully waterproof. But hurry, this offer is only available for a limited time. Click the link in the description to take advantage of these Black Friday prices and make sure to use my code FunkyLaylo20 for an additional 20% off your purchase. Being a Christian influencer is a tough job because you always have to be ready to record yourself warding off demonic activity.
Get out of my car. Who do you think you are? Get out of here right now. Get out in the name of Jesus. I command you to get out. Get out and don't come back. Get out.
How nice of the demon to wait for you to prop your phone up on the dashboard before using its psychic move. I guess that means that Jesus is a ghost type Pokemon. I choose you, King of the Jews.
No. 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 We don't welcome that in this house. Out. Bind and rebuke. Get out. I ain't playing. Get out. This house is covered with the blood of Jesus. It is filled with the Holy Spirit. Any evil or demonic presence that seeks to do harm, you are cast out of this house in the name of Jesus. Get out. Jesus in the darkness.
It seems exhausting to live like this. You have to constantly worry that Satan's going to use your TV as a portal into your living room like the girl from The Ring because Universal Pictures paid Roku to advertise a movie that only got 22% on Rotten Tomatoes. I'd probably crawl out of a TV too if people kept making terrible movies about me. Satan's like, I'm tired of these sequels. What do you mean they've already announced the next Exorcist is coming out in 2026? When will they learn?
Have you tried this demon banishing technique? It's called turning the TV off.
Not doing this. I don't know why you think. I don't know why. You're messing with the wrong daughter of God. Get out.
It is good to know that I can use the same method to banish evil spirits that I used to get my cat to stop scratching the couch.
No! No! You are messing with the wrong child of God!
It's clear these women are struggling with extreme anxiety, but isn't it way more fun to believe that all of life's problems are caused by demons?
Wait, what was that? What camera went out?
That's the devil, bro.
That is the devil.
In the name of Jesus Christ, we thank you, Lord, that every spirit is bound right now.
Depression? Demons. Gays and theys? Demons. Confused old person approaches you on the train? Demons.
Hallelujah. Glory to Jesus. I pray that you get free, be loosed in the name of Jesus Christ.
Now, if she didn't add the caption and you asked me which of these two people is possessed, I'd probably only get it right on my second guess. Don't try this at home. I cannot advise speaking in tongues to the mentally ill on public transportation. You might pull off an exorcism. You might also get stabbed 47 times in a row. Either way, you're gonna need a priest. Whitney Lynn proselytizes to captive audiences every week in enough locations to fill a Dr. Seuss book. She might pray for you on a train. She might preach at you on a plane.
Hello, Orlando. I know it's really late. Some of you are really tired, but I have an important message. It's a warning. There's gonna be a chip that they're actually making right now that they're gonna ask you to put inside your hand or your forehead. If you get this chip, you will sell your very soul to the devil because the Antichrist is coming. Heaven is real. Hell is hotter. Jesus is coming back.
This should automatically put you on the no-fly list. If you start yelling at me about the Antichrist while I'm trying to get my duffel bag out of the overhead after sitting too long in a seat that's too small and that I paid too much for, I'm going to be put on the no-fly list. I will resort to violence. For those of you who have missed a few Bible studies, the chip that she's referring to is an interpretation of the Mark of the Beast from Revelations. There's no textual basis for the Mark of the Beast being a physical implant whatsoever. It's basically like modern AU fan fiction, or those hipster edits of Disney princesses, but for Christians who are horny for the end times. But come on, lady, this is Spirit Airlines behavior. Oh. I see you've hit them up too.
It's time to be bold and unashamed of the gospel of Jesus Christ. because the days are growing colder.
Actually, they're getting hotter. Measurably. Hell is empty and all the devils are here to use our oceans as a big jacuzzi.
But the wages of sin is death, hell, forever.
So this woman can scream prophecies on a plane, but if a gentleman who happened to be named Ali wanted to say a quick prayer before his flight, he'd be tackled by TSA before he could take his shoes off. Nowhere is safe from this woman's surprise sermons. A plane, a train, a tram, a car, Whitney will find you wherever you are.
You guys know about the real origin of Halloween? No. It's so evil that there's witches on like the night before doing curses, seances, drinking babies' blood, devil worship, right?
She sets up her soapbox at Walmart, Trader Joe's, Ross, sometimes multiple times, while her fellow shoppers silently try to avoid making eye contact with her. Though, I don't know, Chick-fil-A? That kind of seems like a case of preaching to the choir.
I'm on the Trump train. Why? He is not ashamed of the gospel of Jesus Christ. He is not ashamed to lift up Jesus. So Trump, 2024, hallelujah.
I'm wondering what one or two of your most favored Bible verses are and why.
I wouldn't want to get into it because to me that's very personal. You know, when I talk about the Bible, it's very personal, so I don't want to get into it.
Sour King Drew is another creator who likes to start these spontaneous worship sessions with strangers. For example, dancing on top of a table while blasting gospel music through a portable speaker to kick off a one-man flash mob. Even after he dropped a boogie bomb for Christ on unsuspecting Starbucks patrons, the staff were still nice enough to let him film on the property as long as he stayed outside. Then he came back with a megaphone and started screaming so loudly that they couldn't take orders from the drive-thru.
I know, but I was told by an employee yesterday when I was standing on the table. She told me, I don't mind if you go outside and do it.
We're trying to take the order, but we can't hear it.
Okay. If the Lord brings me somewhere, I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna obey. And I'm gonna preach, right? I'm gonna do whatever he tells me to do.
I've always been terrified of people who use this type of language. God told me to do this. The Lord called me here. Because from an outside perspective, you're just assigning divine inspiration to random impulses you have. What if God tells you to go shoot up a Waffle House? True story, by the way. Or go full-blown Abraham on your firstborn, later inspiring an addicting roguelike video game. Are you sure God is calling you to film yourself yelling at random people on the sidewalk shirtless, instead of, I don't know, volunteering at your local soup kitchen or something? Perhaps have a genuine conversation with a person without posting it? The only thing that differentiates these videos from your average prank or social experiment content is that Jesus is slapped onto it. Otherwise, they operate under the exact same formula. Record people without their consent while you act disruptive in public in the hopes of capturing a reaction. The worst sin being committed here, though, is that it's just painfully cringe. Like, I'm talking season 1 of The Office level cringe, except it's real.
Part 2 of trying to see how many people we can get to say amen. Let's get it. God is good, amen. God is good, amen. Let's go. We got one.
You would think that only a masochist could post such a devastating L, but it's actually a naughtier kink than that. It's a persecution complex. The Christian influencer's secret weapon? Any and all criticism can be attributed to non-believers rejecting God. Dude, I'm getting hate comments. It's just like it says in John chapter 15 verse 20. If they persecuted me, they will persecute you also. I'm being persecuted like Jesus because I'm a Christian. Would it help to know that it's actually because of your terrible personality? This can even evolve, not that evolution is real or anything, into full-on self-imposed martyrdom syndrome, going out of your way in person and online to attract as much negative attention as possible. Rage bait just becomes an exploit to get more brownie points with the big man upstairs. But if Satan is real, I feel like he's the one smashing that like button, because this type of evangelism makes Christians look like the biggest, obnoxious, attention-seeking
Buttheads. Buttheads.
Drive through at McDonald's about to preach the gospel, bro, in the drive through. Let's get it.
Well, you know Jesus Christ?
Yeah, right.
You know who that is, right?
I mean, yeah, I know who that is.
You know he loves you, right? Like a lot.
I heard that before.
When I was in the world drinking, smoking, all these things, bro, wasn't paying attention to God at all. When I was going through panic attacks and anxiety and just a lot of anger, and I was getting like $50,000 a month, bro, from YouTube. None of that made me happy, bro.
Why did he feel the need to casually mention that he made $50,000 a month? What? Hold on. Let me flex on this McDonald's employee in the name of Jesus real quick. You know, I never really was interested in Christianity, but then you rolled up to my minimum wage job on electric scooters, blocked my drive-thru, and told me that you were a rich and famous YouTuber. So now, I gotta get in on this. Baptize me right now, dunk me in a tub of McDonald's Sprite, and wash my sins away. Drew originally gained a following by reviewing sour candies and snacks, and he still posts this type of content. You'll just occasionally be jump scared while scrolling through his feed with a video about Kamala Harris being possessed by demons.
Here comes. Oh.
Bro, demons operating at Kamala Harris's rally does not surprise me at all. She has a demon operating in her, probably multiple.
Probably multiple. Yeah, we really are just medieval peasants with iPhones, aren't we? When Drew's not harassing fast food employees or spreading political conspiracies, he's trying to get his rap career going.
Stop being deceived by the snake. How come out of every religion the ones who are Christian get all of the hate?
Okay, but Christianity is kind of one of the biggest hater religions ever. It's splintered into countless denominations that have all taken turns killing each other over slightly different interpretations of the same text throughout history. Also, yes, those are bullets coming out of a Bible. The words Christian and rap are a lot like your parents who refuse to get a divorce. They shouldn't be together, but they keep trying. And everyone else ends up suffering.
I'm a Christian, but if you really think I'm gonna listen to rap music that glorifies God, you're right. Free from sin, Jesus, all I need is him. Ask about my pronouns, I'll point up and tell you he is him. Died to me, wasting time for nothing but this sinful crime. I'm not a Polish dime. I don't have to impress God.
I got a question for these Christians, will they answer? Well, let's see. You made 100 songs, but still ain't call out the LGBT.
Maybe I should get in on this. I mean, it's part of the content creator life cycle after all. My transition into an unexpected music career that gets lukewarm reception at best is inevitable. Maybe Jesus is the promoter I need. Yo, Lil White Wafer in the house. Here to break bread, not make that bread, you feel me? Yo. I'm not a doubting Thomas, I put my faith in his promise. You'll never see me surrender to your liberal agenda. The Lord is our shield, don't even try to fight us. Call me the psalmist, cause my verses are righteous. If you don't believe in Jesus, you'll go to hell. Even if you're a baby, you'll go to hell. Something's cooking, what's that smell? A little baby barbecue down in hell. Drew also sells some Christian merch. Let's check this out. Okay, we got some Timothy with some clip art. The Holy Spirit went crazy with this one. Hold on guys, brainstorm with me. How do we tap into this market? Okay, first idea, off the dome, bath bombs, bright red bath bombs, bathed in his blood. What else? We could have water shoes with Matthew chapter 14 on them, this little light of mine, night lights. Ooh, we can have a fitness program just for Christians. We'll call it CrossFit, but we have some stiff competition. Check out this Christmas tree reminding sinners what the real reason for the season is.
Whoever follows me will never walk in darkness.
Come on, that's a little bit depressing. It's the guy's birthday after all. He probably doesn't want to think about the horrible way he died. The Roman Empire used crosses to brutally execute thousands of criminals and political enemies. That's like if you had a Christmas tree shaped like a guillotine. Oh kids, come see what Santa left for you under the electric chair. Actually, you know what? I've changed my mind. That is super metal, and I am a huge fan. There's also a Christian activewear brand selling crop tops and leggings with scripture verses on them. In a hideous font. For $100, you too can rep the Lord while doing reps.
5 things every Christian girl should do at the gym. First, you want to meditate on the Word of God and in between your sets.
That's so me. When I take my Bible to the gym and point at it, my pre-workout is penitence. Steroids? No.
I'm just juiced up for Jesus.
Then you want to listen to Christian worship music and praise the Lord. And show your faith through actions and activewear.
Whoa! When the Lord said turn the other cheek, I don't think that's what he meant, but he did call us to be fishers of men, and the men have definitely been fished. What I've quickly learned is that thirst traps are actually okay as long as they're for Sky Daddy, or they're being used as a dating profile to find your godly spouse.
I love Jesus with my literal whole heart. Like, he is my favorite person ever. I could literally talk about him until the cows come home.
A good Christian influencer must always be on the lookout for wickedness in anything that they watch or listen to so they can warn their fellow believers. You can never let down your guard. Not even around Imagine Dragons.
It's where my demons... What am I doing? What am I even singing? What? Demon? Oh my gosh. Lord, I rebuke that. What the heck am I doing?
If you can't even listen to music that sounds like overpriced coffee and pine tree forearm tattoos started a boy band in a gated community, you might as well just stick to the hymnal at that point, bud. Ah, they must have discovered Proverbs chapter 5 verse 19. A lot of these videos have the same energy as a youth pastor trying to make a bid for connection by inappropriately shoehorning a pop culture reference into his sermon. Jesus took the blind man by the hand and led him out of the village. Then, spitting on the man's eyes, he laid his hands on him. Guys, Jesus haktuad and spit on that thing. He opened this man's eyes, but not only that, his heart. Are you ready to let the Lord haktua and spit on your heart today?
Christians on Halloween tend to turn off their lights and ignore the door. So I ended up making these cute little baggies with mini Bibles, mini Jesus keychains, some Christian stickers, and a scripture prayer card.
And if your Muslim neighbors were handing out itty-bitty Qurans, and your Buddhist neighbors were handing out little plastic toy Buddhas, and your atheist neighbors were handing out Imagine Dragon concert tickets, you would be totally fine with that too, right? A lot of comments under videos like this point out that the creators are forcing their beliefs onto other people. But of course they are. That's kind of what the Bible tells them to do. I mean, 1 Corinthians 6 verse 14 literally says, "Don't be unequally yoked with unbelievers, for what fellowship do righteousness and iniquity have? Or what fellowship does light have with darkness?" Many Christians believe that God has commanded them to center every single interaction they have with non-believers around conversion. They literally think that they are in a spiritual war with only two sides, God and Satan. Obviously, the videos that I've been reacting to represent the worst of Christian content. There are many respectful Christian creators who don't use their beliefs for clout or to cause division. But even so, their videos still often carry an underlying threat, the implicit assumption that every single viewer who doesn't believe in Jesus will experience unimaginable agony for eternity. Not for serious crimes or acts of cruelty, but simply for bubbling in the wrong answer on a multiple choice test with literally thousands of religions to choose from. I guess always choose C if you don't know the answer, right? It's kind of hard not to have a negative reaction to that if you're not a Christian. I know a lot of the people included in this video are going to use my criticism as a shiny badge of martyrdom and see me as an agent of evil persecuting them for their faith, but honestly, I'm just trying to help y'all out. Many of my close friends and loved ones are Christians, and they deserve better representation than this. The church's PR is at an all-time low, and there's a reason for that.
This election was to determine whether or not the United States was going to continue to be ran by the devil.
Macafoder, it's been a roller coaster, but every single part was in God's hands.
That's so weird. Holy sh**. Oh no.
Oh boy. So you might have noticed that a lot of people are talking about bears right now. There hasn't been an uptick in interest in nature documentaries, and no, they're not talking about that stressful cooking show featuring the tragic little chef with big sad blue eyes. About a month or so ago, a hypothetical was presented in a street interview and started to be shared around social media. Would you rather be stuck in a forest with a man or a bear?
Would you rather be stuck in a forest with a man or a bear?
And almost unanimously, women everywhere have answered that they would prefer the bear.
Bear. With a bear. Bear. Probably a bear. Definitely a bear. A bear.
The response to this, of course, has been for men to initiate a thoughtful discussion about the topic.
I never hit a woman violently.
You should expect an encounter with slippery skin soon enough.
No one said anything about serial killers. Nobody said anything about Jeffrey Dahmer.
Would I rather my mom be in the woods with a guy or a creature that would hunt her, jump up, grab her by the face, chomp down, cause her to have to take her thumb, jab it into its eyes?
So, let's talk about it. Just a quick warning up top, we are going to be getting into some pretty dark territory here. While I'll be doing my best to stay within YouTube's guidelines, I'm going to have to cover some upsetting material. So I thought, maybe we could lighten the mood a little bit. Roar. This costume is extraordinarily hot. I already regret this decision, but I'm committed. Now, am I potentially going to make a few people upset with this video? Do I in the woods? Yes, but I think this conversation is very important, so if you are someone who got angry the moment you saw the thumbnail, then I would just ask that you bear with me and watch till the end of the video. Okay? Okay, let's start off by clarifying some things, because despite the fact that this hypothetical is extremely simple, there seems to be a lot of people unintentionally, and perhaps intentionally, misunderstanding it. First off, you don't get to choose the man you're stuck in the woods with, like this charming fellow whose favorite Pop-Tart flavor is cinnamon. Apparently. That would obviously destroy the whole point of the hypothetical. If it's a choice between a bear or, say, Bear Grylls, I'm choosing the survivalist who will return my happy ass back to its natural habitat, sitting in front of my computer, playing Fallout 4 again, because the only type of light that should be touching this delicate skin is blue. This debate has quickly devolved into one side presenting statistics, personal testimonies, and criminal cases, while the other side taps the heels of their red pill slippers together, screaming, "Not all men, not all men, not all men," with their fingers jammed in their ears. Ooh, it's a random manga panel with barely legible text. I'll be here all week. I'm sure I'm about to read something intellectually stimulating. Remember, it's man or bear, not fist or bear. Hey, quick question, weeb. Who's doing all the assaults then? Because as we've mentioned on this channel before, according to the NSVRC, 1 in 5 women has experienced assault or attempted assault during her lifetime. That's millions of women, and unless they're all being harassed by Diddler Dave, who is skewing the statistics with his incredible efficiency, mathematically speaking, there must be a non-trivial amount of men committing this type of crime. How these MFers feel after making all men feel like they are rapists. Hey bud, you see how these two things are not the same? Isn't it so cool how they are not the same? But since we don't want men to feel bad about themselves, please tell us which ones women should avoid. Do they walk differently than other men? Talk differently? What kind of shoes do they wear? Look, imagine you're at a party. I know, just suspend your disbelief. Imagine you're at a party and somebody walks in with a bowl of M&Ms. Super lazy for a potluck, but whatever. Now imagine you knew that some of these M&Ms were poisoned. Would you take that risk? I mean, come on, they're not all poisoned. What are you, some kind of freak who prefers Skittles? That's the position that women are put in whenever they interact with a man. They have to just put their hand in that bowl and hope for the best. So I'm as bad as any serial killers now. Aw, I'm sorry you came to that completely unrelated and self-centered conclusion. That must be really hard for you. But don't feel too bad for him though, because if you make the mistake of defending pity parties like this one, you might just make yourself a target. Like this minor running a Star Wars meme account who said that she would choose the man, and then was immediately overwhelmed by hordes of freaks commenting graphic descriptions of what they would do to her as a reward. Great job, fellas. This is so dumb. If the man is my husband or dad, brother, best friend, he would kill himself protecting you. Not sure what kind of men you guys know. Interesting, irrelevant factoid, Helen. Too bad I don't get to choose your heroic family members and or friends in this scenario. For your information, the kind of men I know are frankly epic, and I love to hang out with them because they laugh at my jokes. But they're also just kind people who are sympathetic and understanding when I bring up women's issues, instead of blowing a blood vessel trying to defend their honor.
I ain't never hit a woman violently. I ain't never put a violent hand on a woman. I ain't never assaulted a woman. No, none of that. Ever.
Wow, man, that's super cool. Should we throw a party? Should we invite the Dalai Lama?
The hypothetical is, would you rather encounter the average adult human male in the woods when you are alone, or a bear? No one said anything about serial killers. Nobody said anything about Jeffrey Dahmer. Stop changing the hypothetical.
Wrong. You were the one changing the hypothetical. The man in the forest could be any man, from the most dangerous, perverted sicko that's ever roamed the streets to a Ned Flanders-esque fatherly figure holding an impossibly delicious mug of hot chocolate. I feel like I'm going insane. It's a random man or a random bear. So questions like, what if the man is nice? What if the man is me? What if I have a gun? What if the man is gay? What if the bear is gay? Are completely irrelevant. The bear is gay, though. Instead of trying to understand why women might feel unsafe around men, many men have decided that women are simply uninformed about the dangers of bear attacks and have taken it upon themselves to educate them.
My mom got mauled by a bear. Here's a book she wrote about it. Here's a better look. So even though the question's not really in good faith, probably, I have some experience with this question.
Just because women are answering a question in a way that makes you personally uncomfortable doesn't mean that the question was asked in bad faith. Now, after going over the details of his mother's injuries, which she thankfully survived, he concludes with this.
So if you're asked this question and you take more than a second to come up with the same species as your answer, then honestly, I'm grateful that you've lived such a privileged life that your answer is the bear.
Interesting. I wonder, would you call Junka Furuta privileged? How about 12-year-old Kimberly Leach? Was she privileged? You know what? I think I'm gonna have to read your mom's book because the details just really aren't adding up for me. You see, I know that bear, it's a good friend of mine, and it's never attacked me. I mean, what was your mom wearing? Are you sure she didn't want the bear to attack her?
It don't sound like that lady wanted to choose the bear. It sounded like she wanted to choose the man instead.
Whoa, wait. You're telling me that bears are apex predators? That they're not cuddly rainbow friends that solve problems with the magic of kindness? That they don't make marmalade sandwiches and talk in British accents? Gulp. What am I gonna do now?
Fellas, would you rather be stuck in the woods with a woman or a bear? Let me know, because I think, you know what? I think I would rather choose the bear. Because at least with the bear's not gonna just date me for my money and in the divorce take half my stuff or more.
The worst possible thing you could think of a woman doing to you is dipping into your bank account, dude? I've seen so many men try to reverse the bear versus man hypothetical to air out their petty grievances with women, only to inadvertently reveal what a different reality they live in, largely unaffected by the day-to-day precautions women must take for their own safety. I shouldn't have to say this, but being nagged or your ex-wife boinking your buddies is not comparable to being attacked by a bear. I think this comment is the perfect response to all the bear-splaining. Worst case scenario, the bear would just kill me. Choosing the bear over the man comes down to a very logical comparison of possible outcomes. The bear is an animal operating off of instinct. You've invaded its home, and if it responds with aggression, it's doing so to either defend or feed itself. A man, however, is capable of prolonged, excruciating, and degrading forms of torture, requiring a level of creativity and hatred that an animal simply could not comprehend. The man understands your screams for help, knows what he's doing is wrong, but continues anyways, not out of necessity, but pleasure. It's that situation that is so horrifying that women would choose being mauled to death by a bear to avoid it. Though what both men and women don't know is that it's actually the crystallized honey epidemic ravaging local bear populations that they should be worried about. As often happens in these situations, men have suddenly decided to elevate a concern that they seem to only be interested in when it serves to silence discussions of women's safety. That is, of course, male victims of female perpetrators. I accidentally tasted the marker. Alright guys, let's make a circle representing all men and a circle representing all women. Haha, boobs. I'm trying, guys. I'm really trying. Now let's make another circle in red representing, well, you get the idea. You see how a lot of that circle is on the men's side? Not all, because you can still believe and support male victims while acknowledging the basic reality that an overwhelming majority of people who commit this type of abuse are men. Isn't it crazy how you can care about both these things at the same time? For any man out there who has been victimized by a woman, I wish nothing but healing for you. But men and little boys aren't considered spoils of war for women to violate by the millions after achieving victory in a conflict instigated and carried out by women. There are no countries where little boys are habitually married off to aging women collecting young males for their harems. There are no places where men are advised to only travel with a female chaperone lest they be attacked in the night by dangerous women. There isn't legislation for digital cameras and smartphones to make an audible shutter noise when taking a picture because women just couldn't stop themselves from taking pictures down men's pants on public transportation. I am enthusiastically in support of any awareness raised for male victims that challenges the patriarchal demand that men stoically suffer their trauma in silence. Baby Reindeer is a recent piece of media that does an excellent job of this, but if you're someone who only mentions their experiences or the experiences of others to weaponize against women, I have to question your motivations. A lot of people have been saying that this hypothetical was only created to make men look bad and stoke unnecessary controversy, which is a convenient thing to believe if you are unaffected by the reality represented by the hypothetical. I'm sure back in the day when men would come home from work and their wives were yapping about having the right to vote, they would have preferred their steak dinner be uninterrupted by such divisive ideas. In response to realizing just how afraid women are of being attacked by men, men have done everything in their power over the past few weeks to reassure them that they made the right choice. For instance, drawing graphic images of women being torn apart by bears, posting videos of bears eating their prey, and joking about it being a woman instead. Making up scenarios where they're armed and capable of defending a woman from a bear, but choose not to punish her for being a feminist, using a clip of Pedro Pascal of all people. How dare you invoke his image in vain?
Slippery skin. This unknown entity has been spotted in many places, with recent sightings primarily in the forest. Further research has shown that slippery skin is likely to attack people who would rather encounter a bear than a man in the woods. To increase your chances of safety, we advise against expressing such preferences near forested areas.
Your response to women saying that they would feel unsafe alone in the woods with a strange man was to make an AI-generated video of a monster that hunts them down. Wow, how very cool and normal of you. You definitely seem like the type of guy a woman would feel safe in the woods with.
What men are out there saying how much they want to be violent with women who pick the bear?
As it turns out, a lot of them. Here's some fun examples. In response to a woman saying she would choose the bear, thanks, I'm into so I'll to yours. Or this one that digs a real stinker out of the old 4chan lexicon. Boyd, when I am done with you, you will beg for the bear. I love how there is just a plethora of derogatory terms specifically for women, but incels still had to rub their greasy little noggins together to come up with a spicy new slur. But don't worry, ladies, I'll protect you. I guess when it comes down to it, I'm just shocked that men disagree so strongly with women's answer to the bear versus man hypothetical, because from my perspective, men are constantly announcing to the world how dangerous they are. Last time I checked, women haven't been the ones to dominate directors' chairs in Hollywood, yet the media I've been fed my whole life has been full of dads with shotguns, repressed nerds committing crimes under the guise of harmless pranks, and suave protagonists forcing themselves on young girls. I thought we were all on the same page here. Try this fun social experiment. Tell a man in your life that you think Game of Thrones would have been better without the graphic violence. Watch him combust, insisting that the historical integrity of the show about dragons would be destroyed if he wasn't allowed to watch conventionally attractive actresses stripped and acts of brutality simulated on them from the comfort of his living room. As someone who's been playing video games since these were still popular, I've always been painfully aware of how men will do anything they can to make women feel unsafe in a space they feel belongs to them. It's a well-documented phenomenon that women who dare to impede on this territory are constantly subjected to dehumanizing threats.
Oh, be honest with me. Do you know what feels like?
No, I don't actually.
Well, do you want to know?
Are you saying you're gonna me?
It's not if I like it.
And if you think this type of messaging is exclusive to entertainment, check out this video that recently resurfaced of what was proudly preached in a North Carolina church last summer.
You'll find more women going to have shorts on than you will with pants and dresses put together. I used to say this. I haven't said this in a long time. You ready? I said, if you dress like that and you get ripped and I'm on the jury, he's going to go free. You don't like, do you? I'm right, though. Because, you know, a man's a man.
Well, that guy's going to hell. That was Bobby Leonard, and the fact that he was allowed to state from that pulpit what I can only describe as a confession without being dragged out the front doors by his starched collar is a condemnation on that entire congregation. So gentlemen, I guess it's our bad. Our bad for believing you are what you say you are and believing you'll do what you say you'll do. But you're going to have to choose. Either A, men are mindless creatures incapable of controlling their urges so they cannot be blamed for acting on them, or B, men are complex, rational human beings who must take responsibility for their actions. You cannot have both. We are all constantly bombarded with news of the terrible things that men do to women. Our society is obsessed with it, fetishizes it, yet women are expected to turn a blind eye? That is until, of course, something happens to you. Then you're interrogated, shamed for not knowing better, not taking the proper precautions. It's a classic catch-22. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. I think the way we talk about gendered violence is completely wrong. We approach the issue as if the male population is neatly divided into good guys and bad guys, but that's not an accurate reflection of human behavior or society at all, is it? If we limit our perspective to isolated incidents, to bad apples, it allows men who don't participate in the most heinous crimes to get defensive, say, "Not I," and stop listening. But it isn't just men who don't attack women and men who do. It's men who don't attack women and men who don't see the harm in a little locker room talk at the office once in a while. I mean, come on, it's just how men are. It's men who have that one friend in their friend group who they know harasses women, but that's just Todd. You don't get it. That's just how Todd is. It's men who keep demanding a woman's phone number over and over and over again, even though she's already told him she's not interested. You see, if we view male violence as an integrated system where the action and inaction of the good guys fuels and shields the worst offenders, then that's something that every single man can participate in dismantling by calling out bad behavior, supporting victims, and leading by example. But if you're a man that just feels angry and personally attacked by the bear versus man hypothetical, instead of seeing it as an opportunity to be the type of man a woman would feel safe alone in a forest with, then you're probably not the good guy you think you are. Well, guys, this has been fun, and also excruciatingly hot, but I have to go back to the forest now. Goodbye! Merry Christmas, everyone. Yeah, that's right. I said it. Merry Christmas. He is the reason for the season, after all, though he may not be the reason to season in many households. No matter how bland your mother-in-law's mashed potatoes might be, let the sweet gravy baby Jesus fill our hearts with gratitude and remind us what this holiday is really about. Buying a bunch of shit. Ho, ho, ho! Has anyone else noticed that Christmas just doesn't feel the same this year? The only reason for the season I'm worried about is to live, which is why I try to get ahead of my usual winter woes with some therapy. Retail therapy, that is. I mean, after all, I can't gift wrap emotional co-regulation as an important part of early childhood development. But Black Friday really didn't seem to offer enough bang for my buck. I was gonna make a joke about male reindeer there, and then I found out that apparently they're called bulls for some reason. Hey scientist, what the hell? They're literally called reindeer? You ruined my joke. To be fair, these sales have been disappointing and misleading for years. The glorious violence of Black Friday mobs storming through sliding doors to play tug-of-war with flat-screen TVs belongs to a bygone era when there were actually discounts worth fighting for. It's a mythos that now only exists in YouTube compilations and the B-roll of Christmas classics. Somehow, despite this, companies seem to have reached a new low as their product pricing reaches new highs, with more people noticing suspicious signage and stickers that show you might not be saving any money at all.
40% off all these pajamas. So I got one right here, $25. They have a sticker over it. It's regularly $18. Like, you're only saving $8. It makes you think you're saving 40% off, but you're really saving $8. That's insane. It's insane. That's 10% off, maybe.
Commenters are split over whether this is the result of corporate greed or increased tariffs. Come on, people, let's think bigger. It can be both. Michaels, specifically, has been in the DIY doghouse, apparently picking clean the carcass of its recently bankrupted lesbian-coded competitor, Joanne Fabrics, wasn't enough of a lift. Instead of slashing like its horror icon namesake Michael Myers, crafty customers have started calling out the chain for price gouging, disguised behind the mask of holiday deals.
I have come across a Black Friday scam like no other in Michaels. I am an avid Michaels shopper and I know prices, and let me show you some crazy shit. I build winter villages, okay, with these houses. I know the price. It is $6.49. I'll include a picture. These are 50% off today, so I thought I was gonna come in here and get it for $3.20. No, $12.99.
In case you were too busy huffing glue in the back of your 3rd grade math class, and who among us wasn't, if you multiply a number by 2 and then multiply it by 0.5, you generally end up back at the same number. User IsItGayAJ, awesome username by the way, realized that this item had been marked at 50% off since hitting shelves, and that Michaels had just slightly changed the wording to make it seem like you were getting a limited time Christmas deal.
From the information that I have received, I believe that the house has been $6.49 since the day it came on the shelves, but it's been 50% off the entire time. So this house that I've been buying for $6.49 since October must have had, to be honest, a 50% off Christmas in that section, but they removed the original signs and replaced them all with one-day Black Friday signage, okay? Black Friday deal, just today you can get this item for 50% off. They took away the original sale item, put the same sale back on, but slapped it on that this is a deal that's only going to be happening this one day.
Now I can already hear voices in the distance, slightly muffled by pairs of boots, defending the company as if it were the Archangel Michael himself, insisting that this isn't a scam, it's just business. Couldn't be me. Personally, I trust women who build Christmas villages implicitly, and I trust multi-billion-dollar corporations about as far as I can throw them, which isn't very far, because they're very heavy. Other customers started coming forward with similar stories, like an enticing Black Friday sale offering 4 spools of ribbon for the price of 1, with a catch.
I saw a sale, buy 1, get 3 free. I thought, oh, that's not bad at all. So I thought, well, how much could this size of ribbon be? I was guessing like $5 or $6, because I was like, that's a dollar store kind of ribbon. Prepare to be amazed.
This kind of boots to the ground journalism is exactly what we need now that more companies, like Michaels, have started to remove price tags in their stores.
Anything that's on sale on Black Friday today has had the tag removed. There used to be a price check here. Every single price check has been removed. I was here last week, they were here.
This is likely in preparation for something called dynamic pricing. Dynamic pricing is when companies adjust prices based on factors like time of day, weather, tariffs, even details about you to maximize profits, often using algorithms to make these changes in seconds. Way too quickly for employees to sticker bomb, so everything needs to be moved over to digital.
I'm in Michaels and there is no prices anywhere. Like on any of the stuff, it's so weird. Look, all the price tags are off and there's no prices.
So I asked one of the workers in there, like, why nothing was priced, and she said it's because of the tariffs. It's so that they can adjust the prices up and down. Oh, she said they also took out, like, the scanners where you can, like, go take an item and go into the scanner and, like, just see how much it is in the store. She said they took all those out. I'm like, so how do you know how much something is? And she was like, you don't.
You might be thinking to yourself, fine, I get it, capitalism bad, so says the person with the septum piercing, but what about all that supply and demand stuff I learned about in school when I wasn't huffing glue? What about the voting power of the dollar? I mean, even if you only care about your bottom line, aren't the long-term financial benefits of returning buyers better than the short-term kickbacks from tricking them? Won't market forces eventually punish these naughty companies and force them to price things fairly again? Well, not since they started getting bought out by private equity, like Michaels was in 2021. Private equity that has only one goal: to strip a company down to the lowest possible operating cost and flip it like the Property Brothers in a bad neighborhood. They got the workforce, destroy the company's reputation, and sometimes bankrupt it in the process. Don't believe me? What do you think happened to Joann Fabrics? It was bought by the private equity firm Leonard Green and Partners in 2011, buried in debt, and now in 2025, that horse is being liquidated at the glue factory. While every store shuttered means less options, less competition, and more economic hardship for the rest of us, for these firms, it's just the risks of making an omelet, and they have plenty of other eggs in the pan. Okay, this is really bumming Santa out. Maybe watching some warm and fuzzy Christmas commercials will get us back into the Christmas spirit. Chevy making cinematic short films about grannies with dementia to sell you a car. M&M running the same ad since 1996. Hershey's running the same ad since 1989. Microdoses of nostalgia sandwiched between first downs of a football game I'm pretending to pay attention to while fighting a food coma. I wonder what Coca-Cola did this year. I mean, they basically turned me, a literal saint, into their soda-sucking mascot, so the least they could do is...
The big question is probably how a tiny team, like 5 specialists,
how they managed to churn out and carefully refine over 70,000 video clips.
70,000?
In just 30 days.
Yes, James Quincy, the CEO, tell him it's Nick from Pickleball. He'll know. Hey, James. Yeah. I just got around to watching the commercial, man. Oh no, I'm sure it jingled your bells real good when you only had to pay 5 guys to do that in a month. How much did that leave over for the 3rd vacation home? I'm joking. I'm not. No, listen to me. Jim, listen to me. The only time you send 5 guys to do something for Santa, it better be to make me a goddamn cheeseburger. Do you understand? Jim, I let it slide the first time. I thought it was a joke. Oh, you don't give a shit. Oh, you don't give a shit. Well, you're gonna give a shit when you see my big jolly ass on a Pepsi can next year. Do not put me on hold again. Do not put... Oh my God. But before we continue, I'd like to take a second to talk about a sponsor that's definitely on the nice list, Odoo. While we are hurtling towards a future where everything is owned by, I guess, like 5 white dudes, and I'm not talking about snowmen. That would be adorable. It's more important than ever for small businesses to have the tools they need to succeed. Odoo has an entire suite of customizable, integrated apps to help you do just that. Like their CRM or customer relationship management application. No, I did not have to Google what that stood for. Why would you even say? Which you can use to manage quotes easily with a simple drag and drop interface. Odoo helps you save time when closing deals with the sales app's e-signature tool, compatible with any kind of PDF you might need. Odoo's accounting app can auto-create and send invoices so that all you have to do is validate them before they're sent. Odoo is integrated with over 28,000 banks around the world. You can also automate inventory management, allowing Odoo to propose and trigger orders for you. The inventory app also allows you to automate vendor follow-ups to minimize miscommunication. All of this functionality and more is combined in one easy-to-use platform with tons of available free online resources to get you started. If you want to try Odoo out for yourself, they offer a 14-day free trial, no credit card required. Click the link in my description to learn more and try Odoo today. Would you look at that? It appears that some very nice boys and girls have left treats out for Santa. Maybe I won't make out sloppy with their mom this year. Sorry, Braxley and Michaela. You should have thought about that before having such a smoking hot mom. Don't mind if I do. No, I'm pretty sure I'm still gonna make out with their mom. What about free stuff? Everyone loves free stuff. Target heavily promoted a giveaway on November 28th, promising swag bags to the first 100 customers. People started waiting outside the store hours before opening. Neither snow, nor rain, nor heat, nor gloom of night could deter them. 3 a.m., 1 a.m., 12 a.m. Someone even started camping out at 8:30 p.m. the day before to secure their spot in line. In case you feel like you missed out on the fun, I can do a Target swag bag for you right now. All right, let's see. We'll put in how about a half-eaten bag of chips and a green colored pencil and take it or leave it. To say that this Black Friday promotion was disappointing would be an understatement, as TikTok users filmed themselves pulling party favors out of a ludicrously capacious and mostly empty bag.
So this is what you're getting for waiting in line from 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. at Target.
This is the swag bag, and I feel like I got nothing, but it's okay. Actually, this is so sad. An Uno card, some electrolytes, some nerds. I am speechless. That is all I have to say. I'm gonna go home and go to sleep.
We're opening our bags. I don't even want to pull out what I got. Pop cards? You gotta tell me your life.
A brown
We woke
orange.
up at 1 in the morning for nothing.
We were here for 7 hours.
I think what made this swag bag especially not swag wasn't only how cheap the items were or how few of them there were, but also what the items were. Most people probably have at least Uno game of Uno at home. Snacks and electrolytes are pretty universally enjoyed, but some of the single-use shampoo that was handed out was for specific hair textures.
Curly Days shampoo, which I don't have curly hair.
The apricot lip oil is also something only a small percentage of winners would have any use for. This had to be be dead stock that Target was trying to get rid of, I steal more exciting things from the bathrooms of the hotels I stay in. There's such a juxtaposition between these very candid reactions and the more influencer-style posts during the aftermath. I mean, this is the exact same junk, just in an aesthetically pleasing slideshow with music behind it. Really shows the power of good lighting and a manicure to push product. Now, a few customers did get vouchers in their bags for more expensive items like headphones and blenders.
But y'all, tell me why I got to the bottom of my bag and I actually won a prize. Like, the way I crashed out in this store is high-key embarrassing, but baby, I have no care in the world because I did not just win any prize. I got the Ninja slushie, and baby, it was definitely worth the wait outside. I mean, look at my slushie, y'all. Look.
Which, good for them, but it seems like the general consensus is that Target overpromised and massively cheaped out on this event. Okay, so no sales, no giveaways, fine, but can I at least pay full, massively inflated price for something of mediocre quality with good, legal American tender that only smells slightly like the sweaty back pocket on a pair of jeans and a stripper on a slow night? Can we at least do that? On November 6th, Starbucks released their glass Starbucks Barista cold cup, sending shockwaves through the casual caffeine addict community. Because of a very limited supply, Starbucks locations quickly became PvP zones as men scrambled to reverse the laws of nature to get bears for their honeys. This, of course, because it always does, escalated to the point where customers had to be asked to leave the store like this very normal, socially adjusted gentleman.
Everybody else was in line out there.
I was in line the same way.
At 7:15,
I was
were
in
not
line.
Standing
I'm
in
showing
line.
you the message that I was here at 5:20.
You were in your car. You were not standing
I came
in
out of the
line.
car at 5:30.
No, you did
yes,
not.
Yes, I did.
And that's the moment I would have lost my job.
No, I was here.
Sir, I'm gonna have to ask you to leave.
I was here.
I understand that you were here.
I was here.
I'm saying that you were here in your car.
No, I
You
was
were
outside
not in
on the.
the
I was in
line
the front of the entrance.
with the rest of the guests.
I was
You were
in the
not
front of
in
the
line.
entrance.
So you were not in line.
I was in the front of the entrance.
And that's the moment I would have gone to jail.
Show me the cameras, please.
I can't show you the cameras.
But you can. You're claiming something.
No, I
and
can't show you the
You
cameras.
can though.
No, I can't.
Why not?
I legally
She
cannot
said that she
show
was
you
going to
the
look at the
cameras.
cameras.
Why do people always think that they're in a buddy cop movie and can just request security footage whenever they feel like it? Oh, of course, sir. Let me drop everything and run to the back to get it for you. Would you like it on VHS so you could rewind it over and over again in a dimly lit apartment while smoking a cigarette?
Sir, we can't serve you the bear. We don't have any more for you.
There was one more. She took it to the back.
We won't be serving you today. We won't be selling you a bear. Everybody else was online and they came early, so you won't
They're
be getting
refusing
one
to give me the bear. I was here at 5:30. Same as everybody else in this line. They're refusing to give me the bear.
Right over there, sir. If you want to wait even
So you're not gonna serve me? You're not gonna sell me the beer? No, Karen. Relax, Karen.
And not only that, you got this whole crowd pointing you out too.
Oh.
It's honestly really beautiful to see a community come together like this. An entire jury of your peers has been summoned to tell you that, yes, you are the asshole. No need to ask Reddit about this one.
When I got to the Target, it was like 5:20 in the morning, and there was maybe like 9 people lined up, but they were lined up at the exit. So I walked up at 5:25-ish, 5:30 a.m. and stood at the entrance.
In what situation is it ever appropriate to see an existing line of people and decide to just stand where you think the line should be? You can't tell, but I'm actually in line for Disney World right now.
Mind you, this whole time, I'm in a suit and tie the way I am right now.
I'm shocked that he posted these videos because they make him look like a petulant little boy crying because his lollipop is neither big nor swirly enough, but apparently there are 224,000 people who also do not know how lines work. Come on, guys. We learned this in kindergarten. The biggest controversy to come out of the drop was when employees started buying up the cups at the beginning of their shift while customers were still locked outside, fogging up the glass with their hot, angry breath like Hannibal Lecter about to deliver a monologue.
It's the exact same video. It ain't gonna make no difference. They're buying everything. That's jacked up.
All the Starbucks employees came. That's crazy. And they took everything. And we've been waiting in line outside.
In line just like the rest everybody of us. That is not fair. That is not right. We've been here for 2 hours. You guys are not fair. Including employees, whoever's the manager, you guys better stop this because you know this is wrong. We are going to report this, all of you guys.
You're gonna report people for what exactly? For
buying cups? Yeah, who are you gonna report to? The two-tailed siren herself? That's right, the Starbucks logo is not a mermaid, it's a siren luring sailors to run aground coffee grounds. And the original art is actually way more horny. Editor, please censor out the titties. Yeah, some of y'all were just listening to this video instead of watching it. Bet y'all ran over real quick when you heard that.
There's supposed to be 2. I only have the one out. Did you guys buy them early? We're not allowed to buy them early. I only have the one out. He caught them on the camera that you guys are buying.
Yeah, you guys were checking them out early.
Yeah, at 4:50 we were allowed to. I had it in the system at 4:30. We only have the one bear cup left. Because we were told that associates weren't supposed to buy them.
Thank God I'm not in the service industry. We were told that associates weren't supposed to buy them. Whoa, really? Well, I was told there'd be a flat-footed, mouth-breathing in my line today. So, you want to order a coffee or do you want to keep talking about what we were told? I'm not a very nice person. I admit I do take a certain twisted pleasure in watching these employees get first dibs and all of these grown adults trying to make up reasons why, actually, that's not allowed.
I understand that. It's okay.
There's no reason.
But like, if you're gonna be upset, like, I'm so sorry, but like, you gotta understand why.
I mean, what do you want her to do about it? I mean, seriously, what do you want her to do? The cup is sold, transaction's complete. I get it. I love to buy cute collectibles too, but it gets to a point. The point usually being where I start harassing someone over a cup.
Shopping on Starbucks Club. I gotta put it. She's shopping on Starbucks Club.
She's shopping on Starbucks' clock. She's shopping on Starbucks' clock. She's shopping all over Starbucks' clock. You see that clock? It's Starbucks and she's shopping all over it. You don't understand. I am obsessed with her. Okay? Starbucks is getting paid. Either way, why would they care if it's your money or somebody else's? Put on an apron and start steaming some milk. If you want to be employee of the year so bad, at least get minimum wage out of it. It's funny to me that the argument is about whether or not the employees should be allowed to buy cups before their shifts. Shouldn't we be asking why a multi-billion-dollar company's commitment to artificial scarcity is so extreme that a handful of staff just trying to enjoy one of the few perks of their job can completely clear a location out of all units before the doors even open? I mean, 2 to 3 cups per store is ridiculous. Starbucks has the ability to produce 10 times that, 100 times that. Management chose not to, but it's the people behind the counter that have to deal with that decision, that have to deal with the most under-medicated and over-medicated of society because of it. Let them have as many cups as they want. Damn. If I ran a coffee shop, I'd be balling out. I'd be giving all my employees cups. You want a bear cup? You get a bear cup. You get a bear cup. Everybody gets a bear cup because I'm absolutely balls deep in money. And why wouldn't I want to have a reputation as a company for balling out for my employees? Everything is so backwards and weird. Why aren't companies flexing anymore about how good they can take care of people? Like that's how it used to be. That's how you would compete in the job market. That's how it used to work. You can now find the glass Starbucks Barista Cold Cup being resold on eBay, costing up to hundreds of dollars. And there are even listings as high as thousands of dollars. Oh, this is just a cute bear cup I found online for like 20 bucks that just happens to look identical. When did I try to build a gingerbread house? Why do I feel kind of giggly and am like really craving a Taco Bell quesarito right now? Oh, that explains it. Little bastard spiked me again. I bet it was their cuck dad's idea. Face it, Todd. You'll never be able to please her like I can. Wait, what is this? Trigger a liberal family with the top 5 reasons Santa is a conservative.
Santa Claus is, in fact, a conservative. And here are my 5 reasons for knowing. So at number 5, the naughty and nice list. It's a clear giveaway. Santa actually punishes those who do bad things and rewards those who follow the rules and do good things. Liberals do the opposite. There are no handouts from Santa.
Hold on, y'all don't believe people should get things based on being good. You believe people should get things based on current market value. Also, isn't handing stuff out kind of Santa's whole thing?
You get coal for bad behavior if there's any coal left. And speaking of coal, at number 2.
Wait, what? Weren't we just at number 5?
Santa may be the one man keeping the coal industry alive right now, one stocking at a time. A liberal Santa would have swapped out coal for something lame like a rapid COVID test or something like that. So at number 3.
And now we're on 3? Is counting part of the liberal agenda?
Number 2. Santa's a job creator.
What?
We know that your red pill family and friends can be tricky to buy for, but fear not, because Hillary Kennedy, she's the host of 4-Minute Buzz, she has a Christmas list that won't give a dime to corporations that hate you.
The definitive conservative Christmas list, am I high? Or are her eyebrows, and just her eyebrows, really upset at me for some reason?
I want to start off with family gifts. This is something the whole family can enjoy. A 1-year subscription to the UFC Fight Pass.
Sorry, kiddo. Santa couldn't bring the Barbie dream house this time, but he did bring us, UFC tickets. Oh, you can be anything. Get back to me when Barbie can beat a man within an inch of his life in front of his family and win a big shiny belt.
Okay, so then also American-made cryptocurrency is a good gift because crypto is blowing up, going to the moon.
I wonder why the Blaze Network, the Blaze, didn't make a video in this hilarious and engaging format for 2025. Is it because they maybe got everything on their list? I wonder how they feel about that.
Joe Biden toilet paper is so cheap. It's such a cheap joke, but it's still kind of funny.
James, why don't we ever play duos anymore? Wait, hold on. I'm gonna have to call you back, actually. I'm watching this hilarious Christmas movie right now. I think Sean Hannity is trying to save Christmas from woke. It's free on Tubi.
But now Mason's career has taken a turn for the worst after he was caught on camera waving a loaded weapon in public and shouting offensive, threatening statements.
May God bless America and may he protect our troops.
Oh my God, I can't believe he said that. Doesn't he know that here in America, no one likes funding the military or religion? It's definitely not like two of our favorite things.
One of the disgusting legacies of the fascist, patriarchal agenda pushed against us by that finely chiseled specimen of a male human, Mason Stone, is the brazen attempt to normalize force with a deadly weapon.
Is she reading off of a cue card right now? It literally looks like she's reading off a cue card right now, James.
We cannot sit by while lives are at stake. Now is the time to boycott Stone. We need to pass comprehensive legislation to get weapons of war out of the hands of violent anti-animal pigs!
Guys, that's literally me. That's literally me in one of my YouTube videos. She has the crooked septum piercing and everything. Oh my God, James, this is amazing. Did I tell you that it's free on Tubi?
Jingle Smell's secret identity is Nick Gutman, a Marine who was most recently deployed in Afghanistan. So not only is this man not a thief, as the big toy industrial complex tried to make him out to be, he's a warrior for standing up to cancel culture.
James, why doesn't Christmas feel the same as it used to? I'm scared, James. I just want to feel like I'm 12 years old again. James? Are you still there? James? I think Santa needs to eat an entire gingerbread house and then take a very long nap. Okay. This is a difficult Christmas for a lot of people, and that's not just because the blindfold of childhood naivety is slipping. Things are getting here, and that's a feature, not a bug. Scratch that, actually. It is a bug. Multiple bugs. Ticks, specifically. Fattened to the point of bursting, but still draining the life from their host until it collapses from blood loss or disease. They need to be scratched off. Ooh, anyone else feeling itchy? Look, you might be capitalism's heftiest hog in the free market. You might identify as conservative, trusting in the tide of supply and demand to regulate our economy. But that's not how things work anymore, if they ever did. We are all trapped in a game dictated by a select number of ultra-wealthy losers who were not hugged enough as children, who change the rules of the game every single time your little silver top hat makes its way around the hotel-stacked Monopoly board.
Or the Heisenberg hat if you're playing the Breaking Bad version. The only thing trickling down from them to you is their piss. So let's not stand around with our heads back and our mouths wide open. There are a lot of conversations happening online right now about boycotting, and there are some solid choices in this video. I would say that unfortunately most of those conversations are not very productive, so my advice would be ignore self-righteous strangers on the internet, pick a cause that you care about, and spend your money accordingly. Seriously, go to your browser right now and type out what to boycott for insert cause. People like to overuse the excuse there is no ethical consumption under capitalism, but the flip side of that statement is that there are very few unethical targets. There's an entire roster of evil for you to choose from and organizations that can help you hit them where it hurts. If you want to boycott a company just because they did a crappy Black Friday sale, congratulations, activism! But boycotting will have to be paired with legislative change because if companies continue to merge and disappear, there will be no choices left to make. Charities typically receive an influx of donations around this time of year, whether that's because of religious guilt or tax write-off strategies or secular guilt. But this year, I want to focus on what comes after Christmas. When you've emptied your bank account to keep the magic alive for your kids, when you've eaten all of the Christmas leftovers out of the fridge, when your neighbors start stripping the festive lights from their gutters and everyone returns to business as usual, when a very cold gray January sets in. There is a donation link attached to this video for Feeding America. I was originally going to match it up to $10,000, but then I saw that Curtis Connor did the exact same thing on his Christmas video, so I'm now going to match it up to $20,000 because f*** you, Curtis.
I'm Curtis Connor and I love giving money to people in need. Oh, I'm so nice. I'm from Canada. People are gonna think I'm being serious.
Personally, I think the only thing I want to spend this Christmas is time with my family, so that I can fist fight them over political differences. That's a joke, of course, with my cannabis dependency overriding my capacity to care and their alcoholism rendering them unable to engage in combat. I can confidently say that the only honky harmed that day will be the Christmas roast goose. God bless us, everyone. Who even has goose for Christmas anymore?